Is Brandon Aiyuk going to get traded today? I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and even though I don't think Aiyuk is going to get dealt to the silver and black, there has been a lot of smoke around the San Francisco 49ers star receiver potentially getting dealt. Coming up here on today's live Raiders Report show, we have a lot to discuss, man. I'm going to be having a lot of fun today. We're going to get into the latest news and rumors. Vic Tafur had some interesting things to say about Dylan Laube, Ameer Abdullah, Zamir White. We'll kind of break down all that stuff. Some interesting NFL news around Justin Herbert. The Raiders and Chargers, they play 38 days from now. He is expected to be ready to go, but he's battling a plantar fasciitis injury, and man, I'll tell you what, those ones are really hard to predict from top to bottom. As always, we're going to be answering your questions today, so use hashtag Raiders, or you can super chat to skip the line, and then that way you can get featured up here on the show. And then, for those that do not know, Chat Sports here at our company, our season starts today. So I've been asked for a long time, Mitch, what does it take to get into the Silver and Black Hills? Mitch, what are some of the stuff that you're doing this upcoming season? My point is this. It is go time. Let's get into a question here. I got one in from Twitter. It's from Jagger Drury. It said, who's the lead quarterback right now and the running back too? So my question to the nation and everybody watching live right now is, I'm going to be giving some shout outs. Who is the lead quarterback right now? Is it Gardner Minshew? Is it Aiden O'Connell? Is it Anthony Brown? I don't know, right? To me personally, though, Jagger, and really appreciate the question. For anybody that doesn't know, if you want to see your questions up here on a future Raiders Report show, you can tag me on Twitter, at MitchellRenz365, and use hashtag Raiders. If you do those two things, you're going to see yourself a lot more up here on this show. But to me, right now, you look at the lead quarterback, I'm still going to go with Aiden O'Connell. But then I could also say it's Gardner Minshew. Legitimately, depending on which beat reporter that you follow, I've seen reporters say that Aiden's done the better job. I've seen reporters say that Gardner's done the better job. I think just because there isn't really a clear-cut answer, I would say that 51% of me inside goes, it's Aiden O'Connell. The other 49% would say that it's Gardner Minshew just simply because it was Aiden's job walking in. Now, I want to see what happens in preseason. I want to see what happens throughout the remainder of training camp. And I'm looking down below here in the comments section. Free Fly Jedi. It's good to see him back, my guy. He's going to go with Aiden O'Connell. Abe Blake's going to go with Aiden O'Connell. King Shap says Aiden. Jorge, Raider, Bryce, all going with Gardner Minshew. And I mean, like, legitimately, I don't care who the Raiders starting quarterback is. We got 400 people watching this show right now. Hit that like button because I want to get this party going, and at the end of the day, all I care about is winning football games. If Carter Bradley's the starting quarterback, sick. If Trace is the starting quarterback, let's get it. If Ronnie, Primo, Tommy, John Alka, Quiet Storm is the Raiders quarterback, awesome. I don't care. I just want to win some football games. So how about this one then? Since Jagger asked who's the lead quarterback, who do y'all think is the lead running back? I'll kind of get into this a little bit later on today's show. I'll give some shout-outs here in just a moment. But before I get into this question also from Jagger, I got to tell you about our sponsors here real quick. Shout out to First Time Gametime. $20 off with code ChatSports. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code ChatSports. Download the Gametime app. Last-minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed, whether you want to go to a Raiders game, maybe you want to go to a Dodgers game. You know, it's a good way to save up to be able to go to your favorite sporting events. I also use Rocket Money. Stop wasting money on things that you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. That's rocketmoney.com/LV Raiders. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. If in case you're wondering, all those links are going to be available to y'all down in the comments. Down in the description of today's show. Shout out to Rocket Money and shout out to Gametime for sponsoring the Raiders Report. All right, let's go back to my guy here, Jagger. Who is the lead running back right now? It's this guy. Zamir White's still going to be the main running back. And like I said, I'll kind of get into the report here from Tafur and one of the things that he said today. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited to see what Dylan Laube's going to do. This is a little bit of an underwhelming running back room. But like, Laube literally has to, he's got to do some wild stuff. Like, people have been comparing him to Christian McCaffrey. If he looks like Christian McCaffrey in the preseason, then I'd say that that's the main running back. I look at him as more as and I've made this comparison before, a lesser version of an Austin Eckler, and then also a better running back, but can also catch the football, kind of like a Danny Woodhead, who also Tom Telesco had before in his backfield. But like Alexander Mattison, I think he's still probably the RB2. I believe Laube is the RB3. But to me, this is a good conversation starter because, yeah, we're going to talk a lot about the quarterbacks. To me, though, I think at the end of the day, if we believe that we're going to have a defense like we believe, and who's with me? I legitimately think that we have the best defense in the NFL. You're going to rely on that running game. You're going to pound the rock with Zeus. And we're also going to see a little bit here from Laube. Got a super chat coming in from Nathan Wolf. What's up, Wolf? Can I get a ow? When's raffle for Topgolf? Thanks. The raffle for Topgolf, I actually think that information is in that link. So, Triz, this is the Topgolf event I was telling you about. If you guys go to chatsports.com/Topgolf, Chuggs and I are going to be in North Carolina on September 7th, the day before the Raiders take down the Chargers. And we're going to be doing Topgolf with 20 different Raiders fans, and you have an opportunity to get in. It's not this one, it's the next one. But you have an opportunity to be able to get into the event. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's this thing right here, the Week 1 tee-off. And if you want to get in, it's chatsports.com/Topgolf. You can enter to win 20 tickets. You can buy, I think up to 10 tickets for $100, one ticket for $20. Got a bunch of different odds and ends. But I don't remember the exact date of when the raffle is going to happen. I hope that the raffle just happens maybe, I don't know if they'll do it the day of, few days. I'll tell you this, Wolf. I'll make sure that I ask Daryl. Daryl's the guy who I've been talking to for this event. And unfortunately, he's had some really unlucky health things happen for his family. But Nathan, I know you've been asking me. He's got some family stuff going on right now. You guys have my word. Daryl, I'm going to message you after this live show. He's usually watching anyway, and we'll figure out some of these logistics here. Here's my question. What's your golf? What would you shoot right now, your golf score? My golf score, if we played 18 holes, I'd hope I'd shoot under 200. That's not an exaggeration. That's how bad at golf I am.
I'd be lucky to shoot 300. I'm terrible at golf.
Really?
Yeah,
I
stink.
I'm really bad at golf. I can't even, though, I'm going to try to rip some golf balls. I think I could drive a golf ball if I connect 260 yards.
Yeah, I like to think
I'm just not going to connect.
I like to think I'm Happy Gilmore, but I'm more like Sappy Gilmore.
When I was in high school, I used to play shortstop and get DH for. I used to consider myself a contact hitter that strikes out a lot. Let's go to my guy Noah Santana, part of the Silver and Black Hills, which you guys will see here in just a moment. Eminem is my only mother effing option. Failure's not mom. I love you, but this trailer's got to go. I can't grow old in Salem's lot, so here I got it in my shot. Feel famey not. This may not be the only opportunity that I got. Noah Santana.
Lose yourself in the music the moment you want. Bitch, you better never let go. You only get one shot. You might miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
What's up, Noah Santana? What's up, my man? I got another question coming in here from Twitter. It's from G.J. Steinhauser. Is Jacorian Bennett the weak spot on this Raiders defense? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know down below what you guys have to say. Also, Adam Schefter just totally effed up on some breaking news. Schefter just said the Colts are signing free agent defensive end Alquandin Muhammad. That was the team that he paid for last season. And then he just updated to say Cowboys. That's a really big miss right there. All right, what do you guys think here? Is Jacorian Bennett the weak spot on the defense? Give me a yes. Give me a no. To me, when I look at the defense from top to bottom, I'm so confident in our defensive line, and I don't necessarily want to say that I think Jacorian is the weak spot because weak makes it sound like he's bad. I just think our defense is so good. You know what I mean? Legitimately, I think that we are going to have the best defense in the NFL, so he might be the weakest chink in our armor. I'll also throw out another name. Divine Diablo, I think, could be thrown into that. Now, he's lost a little bit of weight, Divine. He's also decided, to try to get a little bit faster. Thought that he bulked up a little bit too much is something that he said earlier in this week. But, it's not Nate Hobbs. It's not Jack Jones. It's not Merrick. It's not Epps. It's definitely ain't Crosby. It's not Wilkins. John Jenkins and Adam Butler, I wouldn't say it's them. Tyree Wilson, Malcolm Coots, I'm not going to say it's them. And, one of the reasons why I think a lot of Raider fans right now, CRC1 says, where's Chuggs? He's going to be live on Texans, so I'm rocking with Trizzy Trace today. And I see a lot of people. Big Papa says yes. Raider Rudy says no. Rudy, you're going to see your name here in a little bit. Big Papa, Tremello's going to go no. We see Yoda Jenkins, no, but the defensive line's going to make him better. And that's kind of what I'm saying as well. The defensive line is really going to help out a player like Jacorian because he's going to be aggressive, and you can get away with being a little bit more aggressive. I will admit, this might mean that he's going to get a lot of targets, and there's going to be a lot of people throwing his way because, let's face it, if you were an offensive coordinator, who would you target on the Raiders' defense? I'm going to go after Jacorian. So I'm hoping that the Raiders can kind of get him up to speed. But that's also why I've said to me, if you can pay, which you got $34.1 million, if you can go out and you can get a Stephon Gilmore, why not just already have the best defense in the NFL? Let's go to my guy, Nathan Wolf. Thanks, dude. I will do some research as well. I am there to sling drinks, not balls. See you in North Carolina, man. You better be on your A game.
Hey, I want to golf with Nathan Wolf. If we're slinging back drinks, that's my guy I want to golf with.
Well, Nathan, no matter what, whether you hang out with us on Saturday or on Sunday, Sunday is free to come to, right? Like, Sunday is going to be a wild, wild day. I've already seen some of the prizes, and like I said, some of the prizes that they're going to be giving away on game day is going to blow your freaking mind. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go to a hashtag Raiders question. Reminder, there's two ways that you can get on this show. You can super chat like Nathan has done, like Noah Santana has done, and you can also use hashtag Raiders. Also, shout out to Trizzy Trace. We're in a different studio, which you guys could probably tell. I always think it's funny when people are like, do you guys just work in your parents' basement? Or it goes back to the question that Marsh was having. You guys can't really see it.
Look at that.
I will say when you hit it, it kind of looks like it's fake. Like it looks like
it does look a little bit. Okay, no, that'll mess up the lighting. But yeah, that's downtown Dallas.
That's downtown Dallas. We are on the 21st floor of a building, so not in a basement. Just for everyone out there, in case you guys were wondering. Did you see Coward hating on the Raiders today? He said 4 to 5 wins. Here's my question to y'all. How many games do you think that the Raiders are going to win? At this point, I'm so over the disrespect, but at the same time, I'm like, keep bringing it. I mean, at this point, I think the Raiders have more to gain. I think every single NFL team has more to gain if somebody goes 4 wins, 5 wins, 3 wins, compared to if a team goes, you know what? That team's going to have 16 wins, 15 wins, 14 wins. I don't care how many wins they're saying. The other problem that I have with Coward is he's probably also, if you go back and you look past like some of his old videos, you're also going to see that he was like, the Raiders are a dark horse team. Coward does a really good job of having one take being extreme, another take being the extreme, and then I guarantee he's got another one being like, hey, the Raiders are going to win 8 games.
Oh, yeah. No, there's 100% a Colin Cowherd. I could see 8 to 10 wins somewhere in there in that mix. 100%. 100%.
No doubt. I mean, X is going to say 9 wins. Quiet Storm says 10 to 12. Wolf's going to go with 9. James Bostrom, 0-5. I don't know what that means. Can't get right, 12-5. Yep, Gibby, I'm with you, man. Let's go to another super chat rolling in here from my man Noah Santana and them. I'm going to tell you some of the new stuff we got going on here at the Raiders Report. I sound like a broken record, but trust me, we need to get Zay Flowers back from Curry, became Curry. I saw something in him, and that's exactly what I see in Zay. Different sports, same vibes, calling it now. Let's make a trade.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, Mitch.
I guess my only problem with the Zay Flowers trade is, like, I think Flowers is a really, really good player as well. But why is Baltimore going to trade him?
That they won't.
You know what I mean? Like
the trade takes 2 to tango.
Like, why are the Baltimore Ravens, a team that's got an MVP in Lamar Jackson, a team that's going to be competing for a Super Bowl and arguably the hardest division in the NFL, like, why would they trade Zay? Because then I think the next part is, like, yeah, he makes our offense better. There's no doubt about that. But, like, if you trade for Zay Flowers, if I'm Zay then, and I know he's not due for a contract, I'm going to want a brand new deal. And then, you're looking at that 34.1. I think that the Raiders could go out and get a different style of player if they're going to make a deal like that. We are going to talk about some trade candidates coming up here on today's show, and some are going to be at the wide receiver position. But it's just, they're players that are on the trade block, right? Like we're talking about Brandon Aiyuk today because if you guys haven't been paying attention, the amount of crazy smoke going on around Brandon Aiyuk getting traded today is like insane. But like Trey said, it takes two to tango, and I don't think Baltimore's giving up Zay Jones.
Yeah,
Zay Flowers, sorry. Yeah. Zay Jones, once a Raider, always a Raider, man.
Well, and like
I miss Zay.
It's tough. It's tough because if the Raiders want him, they're going to have to give up a premium to get him too.
I mean, you're probably going to have to give up a second-round pick.
I mean, it's hard to argue not.
Like a second-round pick for – Zay Flowers, good player. Good player. Second-round pick, though, like for me, if I'm the Raiders and I'm looking at our quarterback situation, I hope Aiden O'Connell does a good job this season. I hope Gardner Minshew does a good job this season. But there is a situation where both of those QBs struggle. We go into next offseason and we're like, we might have to trade up because – I'm looking at the chat right now. Nobody thinks that we're going to be a bad football team, unless you agree with Colin Cowherd. I think that the Raiders are going to be somewhere around that 9-10 win mark, which puts us right where we were last season, and then we might have to try to trade up to get a QB. You need that second-round pick just in case you're going to try to move up. But you know what, man? I appreciate the question. All right, we got new Raiders Report clubs. We're going to be breaking them out, and then I'll get into some of the other super chats that I just saw from Rebel, Caleb, Brandon, Jasper, and then we can get into the first segment here on today's show, which is going to be me predicting / telling y'all where I think Brandon Aiyuk is going to get traded today, because here's the thing. If you haven't voted at that live poll yet, I'm telling you right now, I think Brandon Aiyuk is getting traded today. There is a lot of smoke. I've had a few DMs come across that said it's going to happen today. I'm just saying it's going to get wild. So one of the first new clubs that I'm going to do, and there's been a lot of people that have hit that gong, and I know we've had literally hundreds of people that have hit the gong, but I want to do a better job this season of keeping track of what I'm going to call the gong gang. If you hit the gong, I'm going to add you to a list, okay? And we are going to keep track all season long of every single person that is on this gong gang. I want to see how many people we get on it. I know we've had a lot of amazing people do a lot of stuff, but I want to do a better job this season of showing love to the nation for the people with all the crazy stuff that you do, and I'm going to ask your help. I love to party, but I am only going to be partying this year when breaking news happens, when the Raiders are a game day, and Thursday happy hour, right? Like Thursday when Chuggs and I go live for the Thursday night football games. Besides that, I got to do a little bit better of a job taking care of myself. So all I'm going to ask is this. You all are going to get some more love. We got a lot cooler prizes and giveaways this season, and we're going to do a better job showing love to the people that always show love here on the Raiders Report. Next thing that we're going to do a lot more of is the Bang MVPs. Now, we've already been doing this throughout the entirety of the 2024 season, but if you don't already know who our 2024 monthly MVPs are, this is who they've been this season, because right now we got 700 people in this joint. Justin Abjam was the MVP in January with 37 bangs. If you're like, Mitch, how can I be the Bang MVP? A bang is a $100 super chat here on this show. Now, I know some of these numbers look ridiculous, but I also make special deals once in a while. Sometimes I give away the great value bangs, if you will. So if you want to see your name being featured on the Raiders Report every single month for the entirety of the 2024 season, you can be the Bang MVP. I'm also going to do a better job of keeping track and showing y'all the top 5 Bang rankings, and whoever is the Bang MVP every single month, you get yourself a Bang jersey. So it says number 24 because it's year 2024, and I mean this when I say this. If you ever see somebody walking around at Allegiant Stadium and they're wearing a jersey that says this, that means they were the Bang MVP on the Raiders Report. Hey, man, buy that person a beer. And then if it gets back to me, I'm buying you a beer because that's some dope shit. Next thing that we got coming up here is the Game Day MVPs. Now, Game Day MVPs are the people that when we go live on a game day, if you're the MVP, you're going to get a special prize at the end of that show, and I'm going to wear your jersey during the next game. This is the one that I'm pretty excited about. It's called the Comment King, and I wanted to figure out a way this season to show love to the people that can't super chat, because I know super chatting is not an easy thing. There's a lot of people that do amazing things on this show, but and I hope that there's someday that I'm able to bless a YouTube channel the way that a lot of people have blessed this one. But a comment king is this: whoever comments the most on a video that I drop, okay? So when I put out a video, we call them VODs, video on demand, not the lives. Whoever's the highest commenter on a video for the month of August, you're going to get shout-outs throughout the month. So far, I have only put out one video. The person that has commented the most on a video in the month of August is Raider Nation 34, Leonard Sr. He commented 4 times on a video. So if you're like, Mitch, I want to be the comment king this month of August, When I put out a video later on tonight and tomorrow morning, comment 100 times. Comment 200 times. Here's the thing, though. If somebody beats you, then they're going to be there. I want to show more love to the people that hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and aren't afraid to comment. Because believe it or not, I look at the comments every single day, and I'm responding to a lot more. The final thing is this. This is the Silver and Black Hills, and this is the one thing that, we have Mount Raidermore. We got 11 amazing people that donate a lot of money to the show. But to me, Silver and Black Hills is going to be a little bit different. So here's how you can join the Silver and Black Hills. You got to comment and like every single video we publish. To me, Chuggs and I haven't taken a day off. I've put out a video on this channel every single day for the past 3 years. You want to be on the Silver and Black Hills? You got to comment and like every video we publish. You got to follow Chuggs and I on social media. Mitchell Renz 365. He's at Jeremy Chuggs. And then all I'm going to say is this. Be ready on game days. You better be ready on game days to party and rock and roll. And we have so many people that are deserving to be in the Silver and Black Hills Club here on this show. So this is what I'm going to do. I talked to Jeremy. I talked to some people at Chat Sports, and I put together a list of 10 people that I am putting in the Silver and Black Hills right now, and this is our Silver and Black Hills group. If you don't like it, if you're like, Mitch, I deserve to be on this list, how about this? Prove it to me during the regular season. Because quite frankly, this list could be 100 people, could probably be 200 people deep, but these are the 10 people that I think were rocking with us during the offseason, that rock with us every single show, that have donated a lot of their time, a lot of their money, have donated a lot of amazing things to Raiders Report. So that's the Silver and Black Hills. If you don't like it, hey, you can yell at me down in the comment section. And you know what? I'm with Jeremy Cole. That's a really good list. All right, if you're ready for us to start talking about some actual football stuff today, I want you to start spamming me down below. If you're ready to start talking about some football, some NFL rumors around Brandon Aiyuk, the stuff you need to see about the Raiders, Justin Herbert's injury, start spamming me right now because we are about to get into it. I do just want to answer a few more super chats, and then it's going to be time to roll here. What's up, Rebel? Zoom call. I'll be attending August 14th event at Vegas. I was on the Zoom call yesterday. Once nobody joined after, I think it was like 10 minutes, I decided to bounce. I did a few other things, odds and ends. But, Reb, I mean, you always get invited to my Zoom calls, brother. Let's go to Caleb. What's up, Caleb? Sub to the Raiders Report. Or, oh, I thought you were saying, do I love the Chiefs? I'm like, I'll tell you this right now. If y'all think that I do that, oh! The first bang of the 2024 season. Angel Diaz. Bang! What's up, Angel? The first bang of the month of August. Let's frickin' ride, Angel. So right now, if the month were to end today, which, by the way, if the month ended today, I think the world ended. Angel Diaz, you would be the August MVP. If you want to shout out here on the Raiders Report, spam Angel right now because to me, this is an Oakland tailgate. I know that May, June, and July, it drags on. I am with you, man. I hear you. Now that we're getting closer to the season, this is when shit starts to pick up. So I want to see some people showing love to Angel because I know damn well this. If Angel sent in 100, if he bought a round of drinks for everybody in Oakland and Vegas, Los Angeles, we'd all be showing him some love. Ron Just, Raider Prime, Raider E, I Bleed, Celt, Jeremy, Darian, Yoda, King Shav. What is up, y'all? Hey, Mitch, how are you? I feel that the Raiders are going into the right direction, just that the QB situation has me nervous. I think anybody that says that they're not nervous about the quarterback situation is lying to you. You can be confident in Aiden. You can be confident in Gardner Minshew. But, it's not even those two factors. It's you're installing a brand-new offense with Luke Getsy. You got a brand-new head coach in Antonio Pierce, who's a defensive-minded guy. Right now, your offensive line is pretty dang banged up. There's a lot of situations that go into this quarterback one, and I hear you. I agree with everything you said. I think we have a Super Bowl caliber defense. I think AP is doing the right things some that the national media would never talk about, but they'll talk about Devontae Adams getting traded every single day. The fact that, Antonio Pierce has got Tom Coughlin, that he's got Marvin Lewis working with him, that he decided to also bring in Joe Philbin, ex-NFL head coaches, who some of them have Super Bowl caliber experience. Could you imagine Josh McDaniels bringing in outside help? He would never do that. He's not humble enough as a person. So when you get a guy like Antonio Pierce that goes, you know what? I'm new to this job. I know what I bring. Why not try to bring in some other people that have done it at a high level for a long time? The Raiders are absolutely moving in the right direction. You can see the way that the players are fired up, and you can just hear what Antonio Pierce is preaching. It fires me up, dude. Like, when Antonio Pierce talks, how many people get fired up? And if Antonio Pierce has that ability at a press conference, can you imagine in the locker room before a game running out of the Raiders tunnel at Allegiant Stadium with Antonio Pierce? I'm glad you all can't see below the table because bang. Let's go to Brandon Jasper here. What's up, Jasper? Shout out to Mount Raider Moore, Brandon Jasper. Trizzy, do you remember Scott Shannell? I played Pee Wee with him.
He was legend.
Saints legend?
Saints legend.
Yeah?
Scott Shanley, he was really, really good. That's pretty cool, Brandon. If there's any sort of pictures, send them to Mitch, and we'll get you on the Saints channel. Now, that's pretty dope.
I do feel like we accidentally skipped over. Oh, no, we're good. That's on me. Yeah, Brandon, so Trizzy, for those of y'all that do not know, he runs our Saints show here, and when Chuggs has to do some other stuff, I like Trizzy here because, quite frankly, he's probably the only guy at this company that I think can out-party me. We also had a hell of a time at my bachelor party, so Trizzy's got some good stories. I don't think we can share too many of them, though. Let's go to Evil Mitch. I bought a Caitlin Clark rookie card.
That's cool.
I'll tell you what, that's going to turn into some money one day. My uncle actually paid a vacation before. He bought, it was like 100 or 150 David Wright rookie baseball cards for like $1 or $2. And when he retired, he ended up selling all of them for like 40, 50 bucks. And he ended up paying for like a family vacation off of rookie cards that he was able to buy.
That's pretty cool. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, my uncle also has a Mets Hall of Fame collection in his basement. I'm not kidding when I tell you it's well over $100,000 worth of stuff.
That is insane.
When I used to be back home, for those that don't know, I'm a Mets fan. When we would watch Mets baseball games, my uncle took the seats that he had, season tickets, out of Shea Stadium, and they're in his basement.
That's the coolest thing.
It's an unbelievable.
My dad has a tile or like a piece of the wood from the old Houston basketball stadium before they like redid it. So he has like a piece of the old stadium, which is kind of cool. The old court.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Dope. Big Mother. I actually can't believe that this name gets through.
It's unbelievable.
I can't believe this gets through. Just wanted to say I'm training again. 6'8", 330 pounds. Don't be surprised if I show up in Vegas next season to play right tackle. I just saw Chuggs' ass crack.
It's surprisingly
6'8", 330.
There's not a lot of hair. You would expect a lot more hair.
This guy is 6'8", 330. Look, how did this name get through? You guys say hi to Chuggs? Big Mother effing Bill. I'll tell you what, if this guy bangs, it's a problem.
Or
I don't know if I can say it.
I think you got to do it like
Big. All right.
I think you have to do the last part like Sperry does the 666.
All right, I'm down. You know what, Big? I honestly hope that you get an opportunity in the NFL. 6'8", 330, wild.
Fuck the Bears. Let's go.
Chuggs is hyped for the preseason. Honestly, I'm hyped for the preseason. I'm so excited to watch football tonight. I know the Raiders aren't playing, but like the fact that we get to watch real football tonight, I'm ready. We'll be at camp tomorrow thinking of my Raiders Report fam. You're going to be at camp tomorrow? I mean, I've had a bunch of people send me a lot of stuff from camp. Shout out to Gunny. Shout out to a few other Raiders fans that DM me. I mean, I know I'm not actually at practice. This might surprise some people, but we do have eyes and ears at practice. But if you want to send me some extra information, if you take some cool videos, if you're okay with me showing them on the show, that would be great to me. Let's go to my man Noah. Trizzy cool, but I'm still mad because of Madden. Yeah, dude. For those that don't know, we did a live Madden simulation. The Raiders were up
nuts.
Raiders were up 27-10 going into the fourth quarter against the Derek Carr Saints.
And the Saints won.
And the Saints won. It's also one of the craziest plays I've ever seen. Derek Carr drops back to pass, fumbles. Some other, I think, Saints offensive lineman picked it up, fumbles. Max Crosby scoops it, takes it 60 yards for a touchdown.
Unbelievable.
It's one of the craziest plays
And then we
I've ever
saw
seen.
a missed kick. That never happens in Madden.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's true. Only for the Raiders, at least. All right, one more super chat from Adam Valdez, and then we're going to get into the latest here around the silver and black and the NFL news that you need to know. Mitch, my baby girl will be born Wednesday. I will have my girlfriend's son send a pic on Instagram with Raider gear on.
Congrats! Let's go.
I'll tell you this, that's actually amazing, and I'm kind of mad at myself. I'm kicking myself in the butt because I actually got a picture the other day from Taino Raider, somebody from the Silver and Black Hills, and he sent me a picture. It's his granddaughter, and you guys can see it here. He's got his Chiefs fans eat corn the long way shirt. First off, shout out to Taino. Don't look at my fingernails. They're horrendous. But I think it's really, really cool when you guys send me these type of pictures because I do truly believe, and it's kind of why I get frustrated when people don't call me a Raider fan because I really do believe that, like, you don't have to be blood to be family. And the fact that people think of me and Chuggs in a moment like that, which is so critical to you. Like, Taino literally was calling us and talking to us when he was on his way when his granddaughter was about to be delivered. Like, you could say what you want about me. You could say what you want about Chuggs. You could say what you want about anybody. But I really do believe that the Raiders Report is so successful because we've built a really cool family bond here. We've been able to joke a lot. We do some crazy stuff. But, like, that's what family's about. Family's about being able to send a baby pic, being all, aw, that's amazing, and then 5 minutes later being able to slam a beer bong. That's why I love the nation. That's why I bleed silver and black, man. Raider Rudy, blood makes you related. Love makes you family. We love the Raiders all day. That's a beautiful thing, Rudy. I might steal that one from you. I also see Nathan Wolf. All right, I lied. Nathan Wolf super chat, and then we're going to get into the news and rumors here on today's show. Sound good? Nathan went to Limp Bizkit concert Sunday, and Raider Nation represented in D.C. The only other person that I know in D.C. that is a Raiders fan is Wild 114. Wild 114 also lives in D.C. This guy's a crazy mother effer. This guy is, to me, the GOAT of all Mount Raider Moore David Zahn. Happy birthday to Brandon Jasper's mom. Happy birthday to Miss Tuna. Hey, man, real quick, I want every single person right now to spam HBD, and I know I don't got Chuggs here, but luckily I got Trace. And if you have a birthday, you want to do a birthday shout-out, something like this, I've had dads ask, hey, can I sing happy birthday to the son, daughter, mom, whoever? This is what this show here is all about. So y'all better sing happy birthday with me, because I got a horrible voice. I need you to. 3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mrs. Tuna. Happy birthday to you.
That's what Mount Raider Moore is all about.
We're better than Taylor Swift.
Dude, Taylor Swift could never. Taylor Swift could never. Coming up, let's talk some actual Raiders football, some NFL stuff, and Justin Herbert's hurt. Boo-hoo. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and coming up on today's show, Brandon Aiyuk, is he going to get traded? I'm here to tell you this. Based on everything I've heard and based on all the smoke going on around the NFL, Aiyuk's getting traded today. Zamir White, is he going to be the workhorse for the Silver and Black? Find out what Vic Tafur had to say. And then also report out that Raider Nation needs to pump the brakes on the Dylan Laube hype. We're going to discuss all this coming up here on today's show. For those of you that don't know, when I say, hey, every super chat we get, every Venmo we get goes back to the nation, you see these new graphics? We just upgraded, and that's a big shout out to all of y'all. Is Brandon Aiyuk going to get traded to the Raiders? Mitch, this is the Raiders Report. Why are we talking about Brandon Aiyuk? Why? Because we also like to talk about the NFL. Last time I checked, that's kind of what this show is about. Here's the thing. No, he's not going to get traded. This one's zero just win, babies. Some of y'all want to say fake news. I'm going to say tuck rule, tuck that. It's not going to happen. But where there is smoke, there is fire. And there is so much smoke going on right now. And it's been like, when you look at earlier in the week, Pretty Ricky, he had a tweet that said there's going to be a monumental trade that ends up going down this week, okay? Then he ended up DMing a few guys from us from Chat Sports and called it was like a generational trade. It was like, he used a word where you're like, blockbuster trade, it's going to go down. Colin Cowherd, keep your eyes out for Brandon Aiyuk news. Then you see Adam Schefter tweet out that the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk aren't even close to a contract deal. My point is, rumors are important in the NFL because when you follow them, you can connect the dots, and I like being a little bit of a Sherlock Holmes. So be honest with me. Is Brandon Aiyuk going to get traded? Type Y for yes, type N for no. To the over 700 people that are watching our live show right now, 60% of them are saying yes, 40% of them are saying no. My answer on is Brandon Aiyuk going to get traded? He is going to get traded. And quite frankly, I think it's going to happen today. I'm actually curious to see if it happens while I am live here on the Raiders Report. And if it does, guess what? We're going to talk about it here on the show because there's been so much smoke around this happening. And what's really interesting was yesterday, Brandon Aiyuk was seen dapping up, shaking hands, and was happy with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. And then the report with Rappaport of them not really being all that close. To me, I think he either goes to the Washington Commanders. Cowherd is very, very well connected with the Washington Commanders. Remember, he was one of those guys behind me on the news around, what's his name, the old OC that decided not to, Cliff Kingsbury, F that guy, couldn't even think of his name. But he's very well connected with Washington. Also Pittsburgh. I mean, Brandon Aiyuk the other day tweeted it was something like, or posted on his IG, here we go. Like the Mike Tomlin tweet, I think it's between the Steelers and the Washington Commanders, but I do think that Brandon Aiyuk ends up getting traded. At least that's what we've been told at Chat Sports. We were told that it's going to happen today. Some other NFL news that impacts the Raiders. According to Adam Schefter, Chargers announced Justin Herbert was diagnosed with an injury to the plantar fascia in his right foot. Per the team, doctors have recommended approximately 2 weeks in a boot, followed by a graduated return to play protocol, with the expectation that he will be ready to start the regular season. I know that it's the expectation that he's going to be ready to start, but you know what? They're not going to rush him back, and if I'm Jim Harbaugh, I don't want them to rush him back either. And you're 38 days away from the Raiders taking down the Los Angeles Chargers. The reason why this is a really, really big injury for Los Angeles, think about all the new wide receivers they have. They got a brand new head coach as well. They got a brand new OC as well. Like, they have so many new things as well, and the fact that their quarterback talent, because after Herbert, it is bad. Like, it's like Easton Stick. It's a bunch of other no-name guys. They sound like they should be working at State Farm. Bottom line is, you don't have your main quarterback. That hurts that entire offense. I think this gives the Raiders a little bit of a competitive advantage, but at least just something to monitor, and I'll do my best to keep you guys up to date here on this show. If you didn't know the NFL rumors around Brandon Aiyuk, if you didn't know the NFL news around Justin Herbert, and if you don't know that we do Raiders videos every single day here, make sure you're subscribed. Help grow this family. I want to get to 171,000 subs by the time that we take on the Minnesota Vikings August 10th, because their Vikings host, talking a little crap, man. Let's go to the next story coming up here on the show. Zamir White will be a workhorse for the Las Vegas Raiders this upcoming season. I'm going to give this one 2 just win babies, and that means that it's a 50% chance of happening. For a lot of our new viewers, I'm going to do a lot of just win babies during the regular season. It's kind of like my rumor meter of 0 just win babies, not going to happen. Tuck rule, fake news, tuck that. 1 just win baby, 25%. 2, 50, 3, 75, 4. It's a guaranteed that it's going to end up happening. Now, according to Vic Tafur believes that White will be the Raiders' workhorse running back this year. One of the quotes that Tafur said in an article that he released, it said, White will likely more than double last season's 104 carries. Zeus put on 6 pounds of muscle, and if you haven't seen just how freaking jacked Zamir is, like, I go to the gym, and I think, like, I do okay. My legs look like Zamir White's arms, and the fact that he only put on 6 pounds of muscle, Zamir White makes me feel very insecure, man. But, like, that's a good thing. Like, you need to be able to put on that extra weight to be able to handle the big-time workload that Zamir could potentially get this season. And I saw this quote from White. It was a little bit earlier on in the week, and he said, I wake up, go for a jog, feed the horses, lift weights, ride about 5 horses, eat, rest, feed the horses again, run and do my field work, and then feed the horses again. Well, you know what? If you look like this, Antonio Pierce might be feeding this workhorse, but I have also grown up with these 2 things, and my dad used to always tell me this, right? Growing up, every kid thinks that they're the fastest, or the strongest, or the toughest. Well, growing up, my dad used to always tell me, there's 2 people you don't want to fight, wrestlers and farmers. football players you might be able to put in that one as well, and especially when they look like that. I can't wait to see what Zamir White ends up doing, but the reason why I'm only going to give this to just win babies in terms of being a workhorse is because Tom Telesco has said multiple times that he expects this team to go with a running back by committee. Raiders running back coach Carnell Cadillac Williams has said, or not said, but he back at Auburn ran with a running back by committee. Antonio Pierce has kind of pointed out running back by committee. But like when I heard what Tafer said, and, a lot of times, like, the terms that people use is bell cow, workhorse. If he were to double his carries, 104, and then he's at 208 carries, like, when I think of a workhorse running back, I don't really think of 208 carries. Like, that's not a workhorse back to me. A workhorse back to me is like, you better be flirting with 280, 290, 300. Like, those are the type of numbers that you're putting up to be a workhorse. So, like, when I saw Tafer say that Zamir White's going to be a workhorse, I was intrigued because that's not what the expectation is. And based on the numbers that Tafer's projecting, he's not projecting him to be a workhorse. I think he's literally just saying that he's a workhorse because he works on a farm and he works with horses. That's my take on that. But you know what? I got to know from the nation, how many carries will Zamir White have this upcoming season? I'm honestly genuinely curious what you guys have to say. And you know what? I'm going to give you my answer on how many carries I think Zamir is going to have, and I got some really cool stats to be able to back up those answers. Before I get into that, though, shout out to our sponsor, Rocket Money. I've been trying to save money on my wedding. How many guys out there? Is your daughter expensive? Are your kids expensive? Is your wife expensive? Are you paying for shit that you can't believe you're paying for? Yeah, me too, man. Shout out to Rocket Money. I'm here to help you guys save a little bit of money because Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. Stop wasting money on things that you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. That's rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. With Rocket Money, I have full control over my subscriptions and a clear view of my expenses. I can see all of my subscriptions in one place, and if I see something I don't want, Rocket Money can help me cancel it with just a few taps. So nation, go to rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. Go to rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. Shout out to them. With Rocket Money, I can save a lot of money for y'all. I've been trying to save money on a wedding, vacation, bachelor trip. You guys know it. And you can also check your credit score. So again, special shout out to Rocket Money, and if you want to be able to save, rocketmoney.com/LVRaiders. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. So how many carries will Zamir White have this season? I'm going to go, and this is going to be a number that I've honestly flirted with a few different times, and the number that I'm going to go with is I have him somewhere around 237 carries. So I actually don't think that Zamir is going to be the workhorse that a lot of people out there think that he's going to be. But I'm also projecting 237 carries because it's not so much that I believe in Zamir White. It's I have so much faith in the Raiders defense, and I'm somebody that believes that this team is going to be a 9-10 win team. And if you believe that they have a great defense, and if you believe that they're going to go with a very physical type of offense, aren't you going to rely on Zamir White to take pressure off of whoever the starting quarterback is? Aren't you going to run the football if you're controlling games at the end because of that defense? You're going to try to keep that offense off the field, and Zamir White's going to be a big part of that. So is Alexander Mattison. So is a player like Dylan Laube. But I have him down for 237 carries this upcoming season. Now, if you project Zeus's numbers based off of what Luke Getsy has done the last 5 years that he's been in an offense. Now, I know he hasn't been an OC for 5 years, but look at what he did with the Green Bay Packers when he was at least a part of that offense, and then look what he was doing with the Chicago Bears at OC. If you take the starting running back, okay, the best running back on those teams for 5 years, it comes out to an average of 191 carries. Zeus averaged 4.3 yards per carry last season, and I have him somewhere around 8 touchdowns based on the Luke Getsy projections. Again, I'm saying that I think he's going to get 237. Based on Luke Getsy previous performances and what he's done with running backs and running back by committees, it comes somewhere around 191. If you told me right now Zeus ends the season between 237 carries and 191, I would say I'd buy into that every single day. Bottom line, though, I believe in this defense. I believe in us being a powerful football team, and I do think Zeus is going to get quite a bit of work. That's why he's bulking up. Coming up, though, should we be pumping the brakes on the hype train around Dylan Laube? I mean, I put out a video earlier today, the top winners from training camp. Laube's got to be one of the biggest names out there. I mean, he's getting Dude, the amount of people that are asking questions about Dylan Laube, it is an unbelievable thing, and I'm super happy for Laube. I'm super happy for his family. He was the only running back drafted out of his conference from a small school, and if he gets an opportunity to go out there and shine, dude, that inspires every single person out there. If you're somebody young and you're playing football and nobody thinks that you have a shot in hell to make the NFL, prove them wrong. Justin Jefferson was a one-star recruit. There was a lot of players out there that nobody ever thought. Keep working your hardest. Max Crosby, another perfect example. Sometimes people are late bloomers. Quite frankly, I'm still waiting for my growth spurt. Let's go to the next and final story here around Laube, and it's going to be in regards to, should we slow down the hype train? I'm going to give this one just win, baby, and I'm going to say, like, there's only 25% chance in my mind that we should slow this down. And according to Vic Tafur, okay, this is what Tafur has to say. And if anybody sees any bots in our live chat, type B to get rid of them. It helps us out. Tafur believes that Ameer Abdullah is still above Dylan Laube in terms of the depth chart. This is what Tafur said. They're giving Laube a lot of looks because they know what Abdullah can do, in my opinion. Tafur also did an article this offseason about Laube potentially not making the roster. Now, I'm not trying to poke at Vic. I'm not trying to do anything of that caliber. What I'm simply trying to do is bring light to somebody who is at Raiders practice. Vic Tafur is physically there in person. He has the ability to be able to interview players. He has the ability to interview coaches. And Tafur, when he did a 53-man roster projection, he did it based on, like, Laube potentially not making the roster. And now he's telling you again that they're giving Laube a lot of looks because they know what Abdullah can do, in his opinion. Quite frankly, I think Tafur's wrong here. And, you know, there's going to be hits and misses. I've missed. I know I've hit on some stuff. I know he's had some hit and misses as well, Tafur. But, like, is it just me, or do you believe in this? I don't really know if I believe it. I want to believe in the Laube hype because I updated some Raiders graphics that we have. Obviously, you guys can see that. And I have Dylan Laube over Ameer Abdullah. And I also look at it as, sure, the Raiders know what they have in Abdullah, but, like, don't we all know what Ameer Abdullah is at this point? And it's not a disrespect to him, but Laube, from what he's done, from what he has shown, don't you have to just say, like, all right, Vic, no disrespect to you, brother. I just think that you're wrong. So who do you think is going to make the bigger impact? You're going to go with Vic Tafur? Because Tafur's saying it's going to be Ameer Abdullah. I'm going to go with Dylan Laube, man. I really believe in the hype from this kid. I'm somebody when I save notes, and I save notes based on things from previous years. And I can remember all the notes that we got on Crosby where it was like, this guy just looks different. Then you get some notes on Waller. I know Waller didn't pan out the right way, but there was notes on this guy, and people were like, who is this Waller guy? He was different. A lot of stuff around Laube just being different. I'm buying into it, and I also just don't think that Antonio Pierce is the type of coach that's just giving Laube these opportunities just to see what he could do. I think it's a smart thing to do, but it's not something you just give to somebody. Antonio Pierce doesn't seem like the guy that he's just given things to. Maybe that's what Vic thinks of AP. That's not what I think of AP. I think that he believes that Dylan Laube has gone out there, he's shown it, he's earned it, and that's why he's getting those reps. But hey, only time will tell. Before I get out of here, though, Hall of Fame game tonight. Low-scoring game, over-unders 30.5. In Canton, Ohio. We're going to be rocking with Andre Johnson, Devin Hester. Those are going to be two players that get, a little bit of love. Houston is the favorite. And for those that do not know, Jeremy Chuggs is going to be live on our Texans show here at Chat Sports, live for the game. So if you want to hang out with Chuggs, you can do it there. We also are going to be live for our Bears show as well here at Chat Sports. If you want to watch that, you can type in Texans Chat Sports, Bears Chat Sports on YouTube, and hang out with both of our channels. Believe it or not, all that kind of stuff, it does help us out. And I go in there, I look. Lord Buddy Bear is a member of the Silver and Black Hills. You know why? Because he is a part of, I'm not kidding you, 15 to 16 different Hall of Fame groups here at Chat Sports. That is what a real one is. Now, I do got one more thing that I got to say before I get out of here. Now, Nathan Wolf was asking me, hey, Mitch, how do we get a part of this party you guys got going on? Jeremy Chuggs and I are going to be in North Carolina for week 1. We're going to be doing a watch party right around Raleigh, North Carolina. And if you want to come, it's free to join. We're going to have a lot of tickets, tons and tons of giveaways. I know last year they gave away a signed Bo Jackson helmet. They were giving away signed Josh Jacobs stuff. These guys go all out. And it's, you get a free raffle ticket. You get free to show up. It's a really, really good time. If anybody wants to also party with Chuggs and I Saturday before Sunday, Then you can also party with us at chatsports.com/Topgolf. We're going to go to the Topgolf in Raleigh. I am horrendous at golf, but you know what? I can throw a few drinks down, and I plan on doing so, and I plan on trying to hit a golf ball so far that I blow my back out. So if you want to hang out with Chuggs and I, September 7th and September 8th, chatsports.com/Topgolf, chatsports.com/Week1. All the links that I talked about here on today's show are down in the comments, down in the description on the Raiders Report. Ah, man. Let's go to a Twitter question here from McCoshtag? I don't know. Is there any player like a Matt Corral that the Raiders should bring in to try out for practice squad roster? So here's my question, because I think this is kind of, if somebody can do it, awesome. If not, it is what it is. Should the Raiders sign another quarterback? Give me a yes, give me a no. And this has actually been a pretty common question that I have been receiving today because, Gardner hasn't taken the job yet. Aiden hasn't taken the job yet. There's a lot of people panicking that the Raiders' offense is struggling. Here's what I'll say. There's only probably one quarterback that you could realistically add off the free agent market, because I'm not going to add a quarterback like a Matt Corral. For what? He's going to compete for QB3, QB4. I don't need that. If you're going to go out and you're going to sign a QB to actually compete for the starting job, the answer is probably Ryan Tannehill, but you're going to have to pay him more than what you're paying Gardner Minshew. The Raiders made a decision. When you made a decision, and I don't even know if they made a decision, they were trying to trade up for Jaden Daniels during the draft. It didn't happen. Now you're rolling with Aiden. Now you're rolling with Gardner Minshew. To me, that's what you're going to do this upcoming season, and I don't even think it's fair to put that on AP. Telesco makes those moves. Yes, you have the amount of money to make some stuff happen, but to me, you're rolling with Aiden, you're rolling with Gardner, because quite frankly, there's not a better option out there that you can just pick up and sign, man. And if they are bad, then honestly, you might have to roll with Anthony Brown, which does make me really, really nervous. Let's go to my man, Robert. What's up, Robert? Josh Allen to the Raiders. Well, now technically there's only one Josh Allen left, because the other Josh Allen changed his name, but he's going to be a Buffalo Bill for life, dude. There is a 0% chance. If you offered 10 first-round picks right now to the Bills for Josh Allen, they would say no. What Josh Allen has done for the city of Buffalo, I got family up in Buffalo. They've named children's hospitals after him and his family. Josh Allen, I promise you this, he's never leaving Buffalo. He's literally, and I mean literally, never going to leave Buffalo. So, yeah, there's that one. If anybody wants a chance to win some money today here on the Raiders Report, we got, 750 people here watching. $20 Venmo to get into our 50-50 raffle. We're going to do a duck race at the very end of today's show. What's up? What? Oh, yeah, no worries. So if anybody wants a chance to get in to win a little bit of money, if you send me a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365, we will do we'll do a duck race at the end of the show. And if you've never seen a duck race, I'm telling you right now, it's electric. It is adrenaline in your veins. It's all about the hype. It's going to be a good time. Once we get some people in, I'll tell you how much we're up to and who has an opportunity to win some money. Let's go to today's MVP, Angel Diaz. What's up, my man? I'd say if Raiders has to sign a quarterback, if worth it, example, Joe Burrow. Burrow, he's another one. He ain't leaving Cincinnati. There's not a quarterback available, okay? There is not a single QB that is available to the Raiders, or any NFL team for that matter, that I think is, quarterbacks go that can actually help. If a quarterback is still on the free agent market in August, they're not very good. They're not very good, or there's some injuries that you don't know about. Maybe there's a failed medical that you don't really know about. At this point, we're going with Gardner. We're going with Aiden O'Connell. Those are going to be the Raiders quarterbacks this season. Now, maybe if it's at the NFL trade deadline or something like that, potentially. I will say this, there is one quarterback, and I'll talk about him here in a little bit. We'll get into a potential trade candidate that I think the Raiders could be interested in, because there is one QB that I think a lot of Raider fans would be intrigued by. Again, intrigued by. That is on the trade block right now, and we'll discuss who that is here in just a moment. Now, I also want to tell you all something else that Chuggs and I got going on that I'm really excited about, and I mean this. I hope you guys show up. I hope you guys can experience this dinner because Chuggs and I have been talking about it for months, right? We went to the Super Bowl. We didn't actually go to the Super Bowl, but we were at the Super Bowl covering it for Chat Sports, and we went to a dinner at this place called Joel's Chop House. Well, I contacted Joel, the owner of the restaurant, and he's going to host Raiders Report Watchers at 9 p.m. on August 14th. So my game plan is I'm taking David Zahn and Taino Raider and Chuggs. We're going to the Raiders practice, open practice, so if you plan on going to that, be on the lookout for Chuggs and I. Let's take some pictures. Let's get some beers. Let's talk a little bit. Let's have a good time, right? We're going to be doing that, but I also need you to do this. I want you to make a reservation on Open Table, and if you need to be able to find that link, it's going to be available down in the comments, down in the description of today's show, but make a reservation on Open Table. Put Raiders Report on it for you to be able to get a discount. I'll say this, space is limited, so you got to make your reservations now, but if you make a reservation, even if you're like, Mitch, I can't go on August 14th. Here's the thing. Joel already told me, if you guys are in Vegas and you want to have maybe the greatest dinner that you've ever had, it's the greatest dinner I've ever had, go on Open Table, make a reservation, and then you're ready to go. Put Raiders Report in Open Table on the notes, and he will hook you up if you plan on going to Vegas at any time this entire season. Now, Triz, if you could hop on real quick, I just got to switch my jersey to a viewer who I actually see right now down in the comment section. Yep, that's what I need. What's up? Ed Robbins. Ed Robbins. What's up, man? Let's stop. I think you're doubting AOC. AOC had a better rookie year than Josh Allen did. What are your thoughts? I don't like looking at stats. I think that stats far too often just get you in a really, really bad spot. I will say this. Allen was a quarterback that I didn't think that was going to be good in the NFL. I'm not afraid to say that. That was a big, big miss by me, but it was also a big miss by, Tom, who I think is one of the best NFL draft analysts. But, you also have to have good coaching, and Allen had Brian Dable. I think he had a lot of people in the right corner to give him that patience, give him that time, and it ended up working out the right way. I don't think it's fair, though, to compare AOC and Josh Allen because Josh Allen is a physically gifted monster, and that's not what Aiden is. Aiden's never going to be Josh Allen. I think Raider fans should hope that Aiden O'Connell turns into a quarterback like a Kirk Cousins, like a Jared Goff. To me, that's the ceiling. And quite frankly, that's okay. If the Raiders right now had a Jared Goff,
Jared Goff's a Super Bowl champion.
He's not.
No, he's not. He made it to a Super Bowl.
He made it to a Super Bowl. If the Raiders had Jared Goff, they're a Super Bowl contender. They're a Super Bowl contender, legitimately. All right, Trace, you can I'll be right back. I just got to switch my jersey out, y'all.
All right, going to pull up Jersey Boy Greaser. Incoming hate comments. Dak is the only quarterback that the Raiders can get to win now. Drafting one isn't always a guarantee. Well, what's the guarantee that Dak can get you to a Super Bowl? What's the guarantee that Dak Prescott can win you playoff games? It's kind of the same. It's the same token. It's the same argument for a rookie versus Dak Prescott.
No, and I'm kind of with you, man, where I know I'm with you, Trace. I've said this before. I don't think Dak Prescott ever wins a Super Bowl, right? Now, do I think that Dak is good enough to be able to get you to a Super Bowl?
He's also not the 16th best player in the league. He was number 16 in NFL Top 100. He's not the 16th best player.
He had a great regular season.
Yeah.
And I think Dak's one of those QBs that he can make the Raiders look like the best team in the NFL in the regular season. But you're not going to pay a quarterback, and there's been reports out there that Dak wants way more than $60 million a year. To me, if you're going to give a QB $60 million a year, the expectation is they're bringing home a Super Bowl trophy. And what I'm worried about is Dak is good. He's not like an elite top 5 QB where you're going to pay that much money. And I don't want the Raiders to fall into the trap of, and I'll call it the Derek Carr trap, where Derek was a very good quarterback, okay? Quite frankly, he was an MVP candidate. I wish he never would have got hurt. But after he got hurt, we got to be able to face the facts here. He was a slightly above average to he was top 10-ish, top 12-ish quarterback. He's
aggressively average.
Now, but I'm saying in 2017, the expectation was he was great.
Yeah.
But when you pay a quarterback the highest QB number in the NFL, the expectation is that guy's good enough to be able to carry a roster because you're paying all that money to a salary cap. You need to be able to carry a roster.
Yeah.
I'm worried if the Raiders pay all that money to Dak that he's not good enough, just like Derek wasn't good enough to be able to carry an NFL team. Dak's on an unbelievable offense right now. He's got an unbelievable defense. And I know that you can't put all the blame on him, but, like, there has to be that part. If Dak Prescott is the Raiders starting quarterback in the playoffs, what's your confidence level? Mine's not very high. Do I think the Raiders would be a very, very good team in the regular season? I think it'd be a Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah, and I also
But,
see,
like, that's a tough one, man.
I also see somebody in the comments, Buzz-O-Matic, saying, why not trade for Trey Lance? Because he stinks. Why would you want to trade for somebody who's bad?
The reports are not good right now around Trey. The reason why Trey Lance keeps getting brought up for the Raiders, it's probably my fault, but the reason why Trey Lance gets brought up is because Rich Scangarillo is the Raiders quarterback coach. He was with the 49ers in 2021 when the Niners gave up all those draft picks to go up and get him.
Yeah.
So,
also, do you have the thumbnail for that
Yep.
highlight cut? Can you send it into the thumbnail room or send it to Jack?
Yeah,
Lauderach.
I got you. Hang on a second. Oh, boy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it.
David's on. Also, what's up, brother? I saw you saying what's good. He says, I tease Trace a little too hard, but I have the opinion he can take it. He's a good at it. Hey, I'm one of those guys who likes to dish it, so of course, I got to take it.
Dude, Trace can take it with the best of them.
Oh, dude, let me tell you something.
If there's
I can
one-
take it hard.
If there's one thing that Trace can do,
I can take it.
it's take it. Actually, we actually call him Trizzy Take It Trace.
That's what they're saying.
That's what the word on the street is, man. Let's go to Chance Tastic. What's up, Chance? If Herbert underperforms this year, he will not be a Charger. Tom Telesco would be grinning from ear to ear. I would say that a 10 out of 10 crazy situation. I would totally take that contract. Can I tell you something? I would too. And I know that Raider fans probably don't like Justin Herbert because he's a Charger. But if Justin Herbert was on the Raiders, dude, I'm telling you this right now, Telesco I think would jump all over it as well. It would be a weird interdivision trade. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, it would be a really, really, really wild thing. But I also think that Herbert's about to fall into this category of, and I compared this to somebody who does NBA the other day, where, to me, Justin Herbert kind of reminds me of somebody a little bit like a Luka Doncic, where you look at that guy and you're like, there's no doubt that he's talented. There is no doubt that he's talented. But does Herbert have that dog in him? Like,
Can he get over the hump?
Like, could you imagine a quarterback with that much talent blowing a 27-0 lead? And again, it's not always on Herbert. Was he with a bad head coach, bad offensive coordinator? All those things are absolutely true. But if the Chargers struggle this season, and if Herbert's not the guy, I agree with you, Chance, where I could absolutely see Jim Harbaugh going, I want my guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I want my guy.
It wouldn't be shocking to see Jim Harbaugh be like, I didn't take Herbert. He wasn't the guy I wanted. He's good, but we could get some good trade value in return.
Oh,
so let's
absolutely.
load up the team and get some money off the books and reset the quarterback clock. I think it's the valuable
There
thing.
would be teams willing to give, I think, 3 first-round picks for Herbert.
I mean, at the bare minimum, 2.
Yeah, bare minimum 2. Now, again, if you know that he's about to be dealt, then maybe it changes up the idea a little bit. But I'm kind of in that world of there would be a lot of teams very, very interested in the idea of going out and getting Justin Herbert. Let's go to another question here from today's MVP, Angel. Before I talk about this one, though, reminder, $20 Venmo to get in for a chance to win some money. Oh, God. The people that are in, I've randomly been coughing since the bachelor party.
Still coughing up some of that cerveza.
I'll tell you
The
what,
Scooby-Doo
my body, not been good.
Oh, dude, TMI, I haven't been healthy at a certain throne that I have in my room since I got back. The porcelain throne has been really hurting.
I mean, I said it today. I said yesterday, I could have shit in a urinal. It's not an exaggeration.
He did say that.
It's not an exaggeration. My stomach since my bachelor party has been horrific.
Which means we did it right.
Yeah. We did a lot. I also said this to Alex because I was like, when you think of like what a bachelor party is like for a guy, like what your wife thinks it's going to be, I was like, ours was exactly like the opposite of that. You know what I mean? It was dudes being dudes.
It was speaking in Borat voices the entire weekend.
And making random fart noises passing by people in the hallway. Like that. I'm not kidding you. That was it. That was the bachelor trip. Noah Santana, my man, you are in. Cheryl Goots is in. Charles G, you in. I got my man Philip Boger is in. Jamari Murray, the man who I think has been in more duck races than anybody on the planet. Jamari's in. I also see Jason Goot going up against his wife. Going to be interesting. Right now, $20 Venmo. You'd have the opportunity to win $80 here on the show. Angel, I heard that AOC has the same playing style as Tom Brady. And I think that that's the playing style that you're kind of hoping for. Like, I don't need Aiden to be fast. I don't need Aiden to be athletic. But what made Tom Brady as good as what he was, obviously he had it up here. He executed at a very, very high level. He did nothing but wreak confidence around his entire team, was a leader of men, was the greatest, I think, leader that we have ever seen in sports. And I don't know if that's too far-fetched to say. But then the other part of it is, like, you know, Brady and Peyton, they were surgeons in the pocket of being able to evade pressure, being able to use that good footwork, being able to have that awareness to just know where they needed to be, step up into the pocket, and deliver a throw. That's what you need Aiden O'Connell to be. He's not going to be Tom Brady. And quite frankly, I don't even like the Tom Brady comparison because it's not fair to compare anybody to the greatest quarterback of all time. Let's start comparing Aiden to a quarterback that's like a Jared Goff, a quarterback that's like a Kirk Cousins, where they're not the greatest quarterback of all time, and they're not these phenomenal athletes, but they've been able to do it for a long time in the NFL because they have it up here and because they're able to execute an offense at a high level. That's what you need Aiden O'Connell to do.
Well, and they always say that wives, mothers, sisters, they have eyes in the back of their head. Where do you think they got that? Tom Brady and Peyton Manning had eyes in the back of their head.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, that's the other thing. When you have this big of a forehead, you know, you're gonna be able to see more.
When you got five head?
That's what I'm saying. Richard says, Renz, you deserve, I'm not going to lie, I thought that said great white. It says great wife.
Great wife.
You deserve great wife.
Your wife is very nice.
Great success. HIV Aladdin. Jersey boy, what's up, man? I believe in AP, so I believe in AP with Dak. Would be a better combo than Dak and McCarthy.
I don't think there's any reason to not believe that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And, you know, like, here's the real truth. I believe in Antonio Pierce. And if Antonio Pierce took the podium and he goes, I believe in Dak Prescott. I believe that Dak Prescott's going to be the quarterback that takes us to the Super Bowl. I'm on the Dak train. I am all in on AP. And I'm telling you this right now, I'm not going to be a guy this year that goes, fire Antonio Pierce. It's never going to happen. You know why? Because I do think Antonio Pierce is doing the right things. And when you look at a lot of the signings or a lot of the decisions that were made in the offseason, you know, that's more on Telesco. Like, Telesco is going to be the guy making those deals. AP's already said, like, everybody loves me now, but, like, people obviously will get mad at AP if things don't happen in the games, but, like, I believe in what Antonio Pierce is cooking up, and if this year is a failure, I think the only reason why it would be a failure is, one, obviously injuries are going to come into play, but then two, if your quarterback play can't get it done. And the Raiders, AP, wanted to trade up for Jaden Daniels. It was a crazy, crazy quarterback market in the draft, and that didn't happen. But what did they do? They did the, I think, smart thing, which was like, hey, in case of emergency, at least we have Gardner Minshew in a little bit of a quarterback battle to try to get the most out of Aiden, and that's the situation we're in now. I believe in Antonio Pierce. I do. I've messaged AP. AP has liked a lot of my messages that I've sent him, and I'm always like, I believe in AP, and I'm always going to have that guy's back. I'm telling you that right now. All right, before we get into our next segment here, one more time, if you want to get in our 50-50 raffle, we're going to do this at the very end of today's show. You can Venmo me at Mitchell Renz 365. If you need to add me as a friend, make sure you're adding me. The picture is like me with my arms crossed. I'm in my Tri-Van jersey. So just make sure that you're adding the right guy. I've seen some people try to make some fakes out there. And if you're the one making fakes, you're a loser. Stealing people's money is lame as hell. Trace Laver is in. Randall Carter is in. And then I see Kevin R. is in. $20 Venmo right now. You would win $110 here on the Raiders Report. All right, y'all. I'm going to get into a segment here. It's going to be around players that are on the trade block that, who knows, maybe the Las Vegas Raiders could trade for. Oh, dude, I had a burp in there. That was bad. I'm telling you, my body is going through it.
See, we had a really cool bar. Wait, is that Angel from the bar? Oh my gosh!
Our bartender was named Angel.
And he was awesome.
And we probably did tip him $150.
I'm not kidding. We probably gave him
Dude, they were
$300.
loving us, which again, like, you know, you go to a resort like that, you got to tip the people. And you got to tip all the workers because some of those people, they're the hardest working people I've ever seen in my life.
Without a doubt.
Angel's there all day, every day, mixing up drinks.
Dude, from like 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., and it's hot in Mexico in the summer. Crazy thing, I know. And he's just out there high energy
Slinging it.
the entire day. It's unbelievable. So shout out to Angel.
The only problem is Angel only knows sounds.
Cerveza!
He only knows sounds, and I don't know if he could. If he's a Raiders fan, that'd be the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It would actually be phenomenal.
It would be the craziest
Mitch,
thing.
One story that I feel like we should tell from the Bachelor trip.
Okay.
We're all sitting in the pool, and we brought some wiffle balls. Because we were
Okay.
like, let's play some wiffle ball on the beach. That'd be fun.
Yep.
So they were serving drinks in these plastic chalices, like these big cups that, you know, literally that big. So we were filling up the cups and throwing wiffle balls from all over the pool, trying to land them in the cup. And at some point, we had people from all over the world, all ages, shapes, and sizes playing with us.
Yep.
And it was awesome.
Hey, I mean, pause, but it was probably one of the coolest things that we had. Like, we legit had probably 100 people cheering on, and we had people we had like an old man. He was 70 years old. He was Mexican. He didn't speak a lick of English, but every time he would see us throughout the entire trip, he'd be like he would point at us. Like, we were giving out wiffle balls to people. People are shooting, and again, it took probably like 200 or 300 shots to make one just because it had to be perfect. Like, it had to be absolutely perfect.
Marshall on the very first shot
made it.
It was unbelievable.
And then we couldn't make it. It
was unbelievable.
For 200 shots. It was really cool, and I also think, like, people would follow us around at that resort, like, just because we were bringing the energy.
They wanted to be our friends.
I mean, it was our bachelor party. Most of the time, it was a lot of people's family vacations, and we brought the energy, man. We brought the energy. We brought the thunder, and luckily, you know, I have a lot of practice doing that, so it was a good time, no doubt about it. I also actually met a few Raider fans down there because I brought my Raiders bat, and we were drinking out of that.
Oh,
so
yeah, that was
when I had the bat, there was a few people that were like, "Oh, like, are you a Raiders fan?" I'm like, yeah.
So have you
I
heard
like
of
the
YouTube?
Raiders. Do you know YouTube? No, we didn't do that, but it was all good. We had a great time. Maybe some more bachelor party stories. How about this? Every time somebody bangs today, we tell a new bachelor party story.
I'm in.
Yeah?
I love it.
Okay. Every time somebody bangs today, we'll tell a bachelor party story. Tomorrow's Raiders Friday happy hour. Maybe we continue that tomorrow. I have a feeling if we do that tomorrow, though, that could get messy.
We could spill too many beans.
Yes, that's a fact. I will get to the super chats that just came in.
Wee woo, wee woo. Breaking news in the NFL.
Oh my goodness.
DeAndre Hopkins suffered a knee injury during practice. Expectation is he misses 4 to 6 weeks.
Dude.
Oh no.
So what? That's 6 weeks from now. Is basically it's a little bit past week 1. I mean, there's a chance he doesn't play week 1. That's a big injury. Has anybody already done their fantasy football draft? Does anybody have DeAndre Hopkins?
Drop him.
No. Dude, that's bad. I mean, that's like what you do not want at this time of the year. When you said breaking news, I thought the trade happened.
I for a second was like, I should probably not have done that.
Blaine Craig, you in, and Richie Renz. Maybe you guys have heard of him. He is also in. $20 Venmo right now for a chance to win $130 here on the Raiders Report. All right, I've stalled long enough. The next segment that we got coming up here on the show, and again, I will get to the super chats in just a second. Next segment coming up here is there's some players that are on the NFL trade block that, you know what, if I'm the Raiders, think about how much we talk about signing free agents, signing free agents, signing free agents. I'm at least going to make this video of, like, maybe these are some players to keep an eye on that the Silver and Black could potentially make a deal for. But again, I want to do it because you can buy cheap right now on the market. So coming up, let's get into 10 players that the Raiders could potentially trade for. Coming up today here on the Raiders Report, NFL players on the trade block that the Las Vegas Raiders should consider trading for. I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report, and the big thing that I really want to get across to everybody, I'm somebody that likes to buy low. Growing up when I was a kid, my mom used to take me to yard sale after yard sale after yard sale. Why? Because we knew we could get something cheap, and that's what I'm trying to do here. We got 10 players that I think could help out this Las Vegas Raiders team that we could get cheap right now that are on the block. Before I get into these 10 guys, though, how about this? This is a show built on the backs of Raider Nation, or maybe my front. I don't know. Shout out to Galgos. Name a player you want the Raiders to trade for down in the comment sections. I look at every single comment. I go in every single video, and I see what you guys are saying. I want to know if the Raiders made a blockbuster trade, because I'm recording this video on August 1st, and there's been a lot of buzz around Brandon Aiyuk potentially getting dealt. A lot of buzz around blockbuster trade going down today. Could it be the Raiders? I don't really think so. Name a player you want the Raiders to trade for. So right now, as it stands, the current salary cap for the Silver and Black is $34.5 million. We got a few extra dollars in there, the whole Michael Gallup retiring thing, and we're sitting right now at about 6th in the NFL in salary cap dollars. In this show, I'm targeting needs, I'm targeting players at a value, and I'm also going to explain how much it would cost to trade for each of those players. I do the Raiders Report show at Chat Sports, and I think for the people that are watching the show, they're like, you know what? That guy knows a little bit, at least, about the Silver and Black. So what I did is I asked hosts from other teams. I also looked at reports from beat reporters, and I said, taking all the information that I got, and I put it into what I think that would cost each player in a trade. So the first player coming up here is James Bradberry, and I know some of y'all get mad when I talk about James Bradberry, but think of it like this. Think of it as if Brandon Facyson is hurt, could you find a replacement for Facyson at a cheap value at $1.2 million? Because that's what it would cost to get him. He has experience playing in Patrick Graham's system, and if you can just add a veteran. I'm not saying I'm adding James Bradberry to be a starter, but he could at least compete with Jacorian Bennett, because if Fayson's banged up, I want more competition in that cornerback room. Philly drafted Quinion Mitchell, and they drafted Cooper DeJean, so Bradberry could honestly get cut because his salary cap with Philadelphia is $12 million this season. But if the Raiders trade for him, Philly eats that money, and then they at least get something in return, and the Raiders only have to pay $1.2, and he has zero money guaranteed in 2025. Now, I asked our Eagles host here, who was also at my bachelor party, how much would it cost to trade and go get James Bradberry? He literally told me he's 7th round pick, and he's yours. That's all it's going to end up costing, because Philadelphia wants to move on from him. He's coming off a really bad year. I'm not going to lie to y'all. He was bad last season. But you know what? He was also very, very good in 2022. He was also really good with Marcus Epps. And when you look at that entire Philadelphia Eagles defense, they took a big step back. I'm talking big step back once Marcus Epps left. Who knows? Maybe Patrick Graham, Marcus Epps. You get your 4th cornerback here in James Bradberry at $1.2 million. I really don't think it's that bad of a value. Let's go to another name here, and I wish I could moonwalk, because I'm going to go with Michael Jackson from the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle drafted 2 corners, and they got a brand new regime. Right now, the 2 corners that you could potentially think about is Mike Jackson, also Trey Brown. Could be an option. Again, if Brandon Facyson is legitimately injured, because Jacorian's been getting a lot of these 1 reps, and I want more competition in the cornerback room. If the Raiders end up trading for him, it's only going to cost you $1.1 million in 2024, and he's a big physical corner. And that's what the Raiders, I think, are looking for. He had a good season last year, according to PFF, over a 70 coverage grade, which is obviously something that I look for. But he brings that physicality. And if we're going to go out and we're going to trade for somebody at the cornerback position, I need somebody that has that physicality, because the Raiders obviously value Brandon Facyson, a little bit of an older player, and brings the toughness that this defense wants. That's like Michael Jackson does the exact same thing for Seattle. Could we potentially get him cheap over here for the Las Vegas Raiders? I can't promise you a Raiders trade's going to happen. I can't promise you that any big-time deal is going to happen. But what I can promise you this, if the Raiders make a trade, we're going live. Subscribe and turn on those notifications. Just like last year, I promised you, if the Raiders fire Josh McDaniels, I'm going to go live for 24 hours. Guess what? We went live for 26 hours. You can say what you want. We got a commitment to excellence here at the Raiders Report, and I'm going to bring it every single day. And my question is, if the trade happens, who's partying with me? Let's go to the next one up here on today's show, and it's going to be Matthew Judon, who currently right now is seeking a new contract and sitting out of camp with the Patriots recently. There was a video that was going viral of Gerard Mayo going over to Matthew Judon. I want to say this happened on Tuesday. Those two had a conversation, and Judon literally walked off the practice field. He wasn't practicing. He was sitting on the sideline, walked off, went into the locker room. Next day, skips practice and, posted a picture of him playing, video games while the Patriots were practicing. This is clearly not a good situation right now, and I know that he wants a brand new contract. If the Raiders were to trade for him right now, okay, they would owe him $6.5 million in 2024, and he would be a free agent in 2025. I'll admit, if they ended up trading for him, you might have to give him a brand new contract. Maybe you give him a 2-year extension, a 1-year extension. It's just something to think about. But I do think that this could be an option for the Raiders in case you're unable to bring back Malcolm Kuntz next offseason. If Tyree Wilson isn't able to take that next step. And it does give you depth because the Raiders need some extra depth after Tyree, Malcolm, and Mad Max. No disrespect to Janarius Robinson. No disrespect to Charles Snowden, who's having himself a good camp. You need that extra body. And Judon could potentially be that guy. I will admit this, though. And in terms of all the players that I'm going to show you today, this guy might be the most expensive. The trade value, according to our Patriots person here at Chat Sports, is saying it's going to be around, he told me, 4th or a 5th round pick. So 4th or 5th round pick. I think it's going to be closer to a 5th, but he does have experience. He's a good veteran presence coming off a little bit of a down year. But I'll also say this. How bad the Patriots were last season, on that defense, they had the wind sucked out of them. Like, they had nothing going for them. That Patriots team looked like a team very similar to the way that the Raiders looked with Josh McDaniels. Defeated, and they were done. Heck, Bill Belichick's out there hooking up with somebody a third of his age in the middle of, like, the week. You know what I mean? Like, it was a different vibe in New England. Let's go to the next player, and quite frankly, I think out of all the players that I'm about to talk about, this would be the guy that I'd be probably one of the most fired up for the Raiders to get. It's Zaven Collins, and he is a versatile edge linebacker player. One best linebacker coming out of, or best defensive player coming out of Tulsa a few years ago. And I think for a lot of the OGs that watch the show know how much I like Zaven Collins, the athlete. Reminds me a lot of a player like Kyle Van Noy, a guy that can play linebacker, get after the quarterback, but can also drop back into coverage. And if there's one thing I've seen, Arizona Cardinals just don't use their athletes the right way. Like, I know it kind of reminds me of a lesser version of Isaiah Simmons, but then also Arizona with like some of these edge guys like a Hassan Reddick, they just don't use them right. If the Raiders were to trade for him, you would owe him $2.66 million in 2024, and he would be a free agent in 2025. The reason why I like this idea, 39 starts in 3 seasons with Arizona, but on top of that, though, like, I believe in Antonio Pierce. I believe in Patrick Graham. I believe in our entire coaching staff from top to bottom on that defense. And if you get a player that is as physically gifted as Zaven Collins, I'm on board for it. Quite frankly, I think it'd be a really, really good deal. It would probably cost the Raiders a 5th-round pick, though I've also seen some reports out there that Arizona might be willing to take a 6th. The Cardinals are going to be a team that wants to stock up draft picks for the following seasons to come. Zaven's a good player, but this is a regime that looks at him as going, he's here this year and he's gone next. So why not swoop in, bring in a player, somebody who I really do actually think could help out this Raiders defense for many, many years to come. Coming up next here on the show, players on the offensive side of the football that the Raiders could target. I got 6 names coming up here, and some of these are going to be some receivers. The last one, though, is going to be a little bit of an eye-popping name. Before I get into that, though, you know what else is eye-popping? When you see a ticket deal that you can't believe, almost too good to be true, well, that's what I get a lot when I go to Gametime. Now, you guys know that Chuggs and I love using Gametime, and most recently, we were able to snag some tickets to the Home Run Derby. Gametime is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's CHATSPORTS. For $20 off. With the Raiders preseason and regular season right around the corner, Gametime is the perfect app for Raider Nation. I love their last-minute deals. I love their all-in pricing. I love the seat views, and I love that lowest price guaranteed. So, Nation, download the Gametime app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Gametime app, last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Let's go to the offensive side of the football now. We're going to look at Allen Lazard, and this is a name that I have thrown out multiple times, and this is somebody who, like, you know, we always hear the Raiders and Jets are going to make a trade this offseason. If somebody actually wanted to put out some good content or like something that might actually happen, I think the most likely trade that happens between the Raiders and the Jets that involves a receiver, it's for this guy right here. Worked with Luke Getsy from 2019 to 21. Lazard is buried on the Jets depth chart. was brought in there to be an extra guy for Rodgers, but the connection wasn't quite there, is a downfield threat. And if the Raiders were to trade him, I'll admit, this is a little bit pricey. It's $10 million this upcoming season, but he's got no guaranteed money in 2025 and no money guaranteed in 2026. With $34.1 million, this one does make me a little uneasy. And quite frankly, I would almost want the Jets maybe to take on a little bit more of that deal. And if they did, like if the Jets said, hey, we'll take on $5 or $6 million of that contract, you guys only have to pay him $4 million if you give us a 5th-round pick, I think the Raiders would be a little bit more interested in that. But a 6th-round value for a player that had his career year best, like the best year he's ever had, with Luke Getsy, with the Green Bay Packers. Like, to me, like, that's at least something that I'm going to entertain because of that connection there and because he does also know this offense a little bit more. And you've even heard a guy like Devontae Adams say, like, he's already retained 90% of the offense and he's able to be like that player coach, where I do think a guy like Allen Lazard could be a player similar to, like, the way Mac Hollins impacted our offense a few years ago on the offensive side of the football. Can be a field stretcher, 6'5", 227 pounds. Allen Lazard is a name to keep in mind. Let's go to another name here on the show, and it's Alec Pierce. Pierce developed a nice connection with Minshew at the end of last season. You go back and you look at some of those numbers that Pierce put up, and him and Minshew's connection got better and better. I'll admit this, probably the only way I'm going to bring in Alec Pierce is if the Raiders make a decision and they go, Minshew's going to be the guy, and we want to go give him an extra target, because it's been pretty clear early on at camp that Trey Tucker and Aiden O'Connell have a connection, probably because they've been working together all offseason. But if Minshew's the guy, then could you bring in Pierce, who's 6'3", 211 pounds? The Colts also drafted A.D. Mitchell in round 2 this year. I want to say pick 52 overall. And if you go out and you trade for him, it's $1.3 million in 2024, and he doesn't have anything guaranteed in 2025. He's a young player, and he's a good athlete. Like, he's a good receiver and could be a good wide receiver 3, which when the Raiders had Michael Gallup retire, you got Trey Tucker, right? Like, you got Devontae Adams, who's here. Then you got Jacoby Myers, who's here. And then you got Trey Tucker, who's here. And then there is a huge tier gap between your next receiver. Alec Pierce is right there with Trey Tucker, man. So the value that it would take to get him, because he's a little bit younger of a player, he's only in his 3rd year of his contract, I believe it's going to end up costing a 5th-round pick. 32 grabs, 514 yards last season. But you could see that he was able to take that next step a little bit with Gardner Minshew going out there, being able to do his thing. Also, obviously, having Jonathan Taylor out there definitely helps a little bit, as well. Before we get into some more players that the Raiders could potentially trade for, we're doing an event in North Carolina that I hope the nation pulls up for. Week 1 tee-off. If you want to be able to pull up, we are doing an event at Topgolf. We're also going to be doing an event for the Raiders watch party. So if you want to golf with Jeremy and I, Topgolf, Saturday, September 7th, the day before the Raiders take down the Chargers, go to chatsports.com/Topgolf, where you can get your tickets. You can get a few entries for your raffle. If you want to be able to hang out with us during our watch party when the Raiders take on the Chargers, like if you enjoy hanging out with the 100,000, 150,000 fans live on YouTube, well, you can also hang out with the 500-plus fans that we're going to have here. Chatsports.com/week1. It's free to attend. Tons of prizes, tons of giveaways, and I mean, if the Raiders score a touchdown and Nathan Wolf wants to pull up here on this show and cheer and celebrate with us, I'm down. I'm down to have a good time, and I'm down to be able to meet some people. That's what the show here is all about. Let's go to another name that I mentioned yesterday or 2 days ago on the show, Darius Slayton. Slayton wants a new contract receiver right now for the New York Giants, and the Giants drafted Malik Neighbors, plus they got Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, who they like both of those young players quite a bit. If the Raiders were to trade for him, it'd be $2.5 million in 2024, free agent in 2025. And this is a dude that's 6'1", 200 pounds, does have a relationship somewhat with Patrick Graham. Again, different sides of the football, but they were at least on the same team. It would end up costing the Raiders a 5th-round pick if they were to get a deal done like this. But, think about how bad the quarterback situation last season was for the New York Giants. Daniel Jones, Danny DeVito might have been one of the only teams that you could say might have had a worse situation than the Raiders. And he's still able to put up 50 for 770 and 4 touchdowns. This is also a team that's looking to recoup potentially a tight end. So, the Raiders have been a team that have been connected to the Giants and potentially trading a tight end to them. Harrison Bryant, I've heard. I don't think the Raiders are going to do it just because they like Harrison Bryant a lot, and we want to be able to run 2 tight end sets. But, Darius Slayton is a name to at least keep in mind. I will say this, though. If you do trade for him, you got to probably pay him. Like, he wants a new contract, so you trade him, and you'd have to give him an extension of 2-3 years on top of that. Let's go to another receiver here. This is Robert Woods for the Houston Texans. If you can't tell, I believe that the Raiders need to add, and they need to do it quick, you need to add more talent on offense at the wide receiver position to be able to help out with that tier break at your position. He's never had under 400 receiving yards in 11 seasons, which is kind of crazy. I will admit, he is coming off a career worst year since he had that, I want to say, ACL injury with the Rams a few years ago. He's definitely taken a step back. Houston traded for Stephon Diggs earlier this season, and it would cost the Raiders $6.3 million in 2024, which is, a little bit on the pricier side for a receiver of Robert Woods' caliber. But, like, if it costs you a 7th-round pick, like, what do you have to lose, right? You're going to lose 6.3, but a 7th-round pick, if the Raiders are legitimately concerned, and I do think Woods would be a fun fit in this offense. He's not going to be the physical player, but, like, I do think would be a good comp to Trey Tucker, where Trey Tucker could be the wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Robert Woods could be the wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. But we need to be able to add some extra talent, because if, God forbid, happens to anything to our top 3 receivers, and then you got to rely on DJ Turner, Jalen Guyton, or UDFA and Tulu Griffin, or Keelan Doss. I like those names on my practice squad. Not DJ Turner's going to make the roster, but some of those other guys, man, like, they're practice squad guys, and that's okay to say. So I brought up 4 wide receivers. If you could pick one to trade for out of the receivers that you see up on screen right now, who would you trade for? Would you go with Allen Lazard, type AL? Would you go with Darius Slayton, type DS? Alec Pierce, type AP? Robert Woods, I want you to go with RW. Maybe it's the Raider in me, and maybe I'm just used to spamming Al. Hell, I do have it tatted on the back of my leg. If the Raiders are serious, okay, about finding another option that makes sense, it is going to cost money. I do think that Allen Lazard makes the most sense right now if you're trying to add somebody because he knows Luke Getsy. But out of all those names, the guy that I would legitimately want the most from a talent standpoint, it's Darius Slayton. I think Darius Slayton is the best combination of size, speed, fit in our offense. Yeah, you're going to have to pay him, but again, you might have to pay some players. The Raiders have the money to do it, and I think that they'd be able to do it. Let's go to an offensive lineman here in Larry Borom, where the only reason why Borum's on this list is because if Las Vegas is seriously concerned that Colton Miller might not be ready, or if you're concerned that, Cody Whitehair's been getting worked in training camp, Dylan Parham hasn't been doing all that great either. Andres Pete's had some injury concerns. Jackson Powers-Johnson right now is banged up. Thayer Munford left practice the other day. He ended up coming back, but he had an injury. Borom is somebody that has played in Luke Getsy's offense. He can play offensive tackle and he can play offensive guard. And he's played with Luke Getsy the past 2 seasons and has a combined 939 snaps. It would cost the Raiders $3.1 million this season, and he would be a free agent in 2025. But, again, it's the Luke Getsy connection. It is just making sure that our offensive line isn't a big-time concern for us. And if the Raiders are concerned about the O-line, I do think Borom is at least a player to keep in mind. And according to our Bears guy here at Chat Sports, he is on the trade block. So the fact that he's on the trade block, the fact that the Raiders could potentially sweep in, he's a backup left tackle right now in Chicago, but he can play left, he can play right, he can play offensive guard. You can almost look at him as somebody as versatile as like a Jermaine Illuminor type of player. Let's go to the last one, and this is the one that's going to light some eyes up. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR. The Browns have Deshaun Watson. They also signed Jameis Winston, and they also signed Tyler Huntley this offseason. So that means right now DTR is the 4th quarterback on the Cleveland Browns. And according to a source who covers the Browns here at Chat Sports, this team is unsure if he fits with what new offensive coordinator Kevin O'Connell, new head coach, Kevin Stefanski. Yeah, O'Connell's the head coach.
Kevin O'Connell's the head coach for the Vikings. Kevin Stefanski,
Kevin Stefanski
is the head
Mitch.
coach for the Browns.
Get it together, Mitch. This is all sorts of bad. But they're unsure if he's going to end up fitting. That's on me.
Ken Dorsey is the OC.
Ken Dorsey's the OC. I combined way too many names and I threw them in together. But this one would cost the Raiders $915K if you were to trade for him in 2024. And again, the only reason why you do this is because I've been asked probably more this week than I've ever been asked in my life, and I can't even believe it, of should the Raiders actually have Anthony Brown in contention to battle with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell? The answer to that is, I don't care who the quarterback is. I want it to be the best quarterback battle you could possibly have. But also, at the same time, If you are concerned about Aiden, if you are concerned about Gardner, if you want an athletic quarterback that did flash in the preseason last season, there is no doubt that he flashed in the preseason, had a few opportunities to start. Yeah, it didn't quite go the way that he was wanted, but he's a Las Vegas guy. And I think that connection out there, hell, I ran into Dorian Thompson-Robinson the last time I was out in Vegas. He's always out there. He lives out there. And if you can get him for a 7th-round pick, I think it would even be cheaper than that based off of what the Browns have at their quarterback roster. I'm just saying it adds extra competition to our quarterback room. But again, that's if you're legitimately scared of what Aiden and Gardner are currently doing. Those are all the players that I think the Raiders could trade for. The last player that I know I'm going to get asked about, because again, I am filming this show on August 1st. I don't see that the Raiders are trading for Brandon Aiyuk. I know he has the connections with Antonio Pierce, but I knew I wouldn't be able to do this show unless I talked about Aiyuk. There's been a lot of news. There's been a lot of rumors circulating that Aiyuk and the Niners aren't close to getting a deal. There's a video of Aiyuk dapping up John Lynch. There's a video of him dapping up Kyle Shanahan at practice, and there's a lot of rumors circulating that a trade is going to go down. So if this video goes out on Friday, which it's going to go out on Friday, and this deal has already happened, don't hurt me, but this is why you should hit that subscribe button. It's why you should watch our live shows, because from what we understand at Chat Sports, Brandon Aiyuk's getting traded today, and it's going to be a wild thing if it does end up going down. So one more time here are the Raiders trade targets that I think AP and Telesco should at least be open to the idea of going out there, picking up the phone, and giving them a call. I got James Bradbury, Michael Jackson at corner, defensive end, Matthew Judon, linebacker, edge, all-around hybrid, and Zaven Collins. Alan Lazard at wide receiver, followed by Alec Pierce, Darius Slayton, Robert Woods, Larry Borum, and then Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Reminder, if the Raiders trade for one of these players or any player this upcoming season, I will go live here on the Raiders Report. What's up, Angel? Also, I played college football yesterday. I beat my cousin twice, 49-17. Second was 50-20, and today my cousin dropped 80 points against me.
You would be able to beat the hell out of Jeremy Chuggs.
I mean, I kind of wish, Angel, you were around when we went live for Chuggs, and Chuggs played like 6 or 7 people live here on the show in NCAA football. He said he wasn't going to lose. He lost. He lost twice. Don't tell him that. He'll get a little upset. Let's go to Raider Invader. Reminder, y'all, if you use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. Oh, boy. If you use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat, again, I'm sorry if I make some weird noises. My body's been going through it this week. We can get your questions up here just like Raider Invader is doing right now. Everyone hating on the Raiders because we made fun of Mahomes, but it's cool when they do a ring around the Rosie huddle at our house. Chiefs fans are crying. Like, I'll say this, right? Like, the reason why NFL guys get paid the amount of money they do, obviously it's because of football, but it's also because it's entertainment. And I like trash talking. I don't like the world of NFL guys where, like, it pisses me off when a Raiders player, Chiefs player, any player, after a loss goes up to somebody and they're all buddy-buddy. That's not how, like, if we
They're rivals.
If we lost the game, I'm not friends with you. We're not friends on the field. Like, if you want to be friends with me later on in the week, I'm cool with that. But, like, I think the NFL right now, it's like, oh, we all want to be buddy-buddy. We're out there just doing a job. Okay, that's fine. But, like, I'm also not allowed to, I'm allowed to not like that, but I'm also allowed to like the extracurriculars because it adds to the rivalry. And rivalry sells. Like, yeah, Trey Taylor probably got a chew in a little bit from Antonio Pierce. And, you know, the football fan of Raider fandom in me is kind of like, well, if I'm Antonio Pierce, I don't love that my rookie's doing that, right? Trey Taylor, who holds himself to a very high standard. But then there's also like that part of me where I'm like, you know what? The Raiders, I feel like, are the only team in the NFL not afraid of Kansas City.
Well, and I'll ask this. Do you think the Chiefs would have done that ring around the Rosie huddle to any other team?
No.
So,
but the other thing is this,
like,
though.
They're rivals. Talk that mess.
They did the ring around the Rosie, though, because the Raiders, after they beat the Chiefs a few years ago, took a victory lap in a bus around Arrowhead. So, like, you know, I think it's two-sided, where people are getting way too upset about a Raiders-Chiefs rivalry. Bring on the Chiefs-Raiders rivalry. Like, that's what sports is all about. If you got guys making $60 million a year, if you're Patrick Mahomes who's got $500 million, he's going to be the first NFL player to hit $1 billion. Guaranteed it's going to happen. I'm sorry if I don't feel bad if somebody brings a Kermit the Frog, whatever. If you guys want to make Kermit the Frog fun of me, you guys can. Hell, there's people that say way worse shit, and we don't make close to that. My point is, football is in entertainment. Let's make it entertaining.
If Chiefs fans don't want Kermit the Frog things, tell Patrick Mahomes to stop sounding like Kermit the Frog. Pretty easy fix.
You got to change your face, Ross,
Yeah,
so I'm going to change it. There's just something about your face, man. I don't like it. Wow. Mike Trout done for the season.
What?
Mike Trout's going to go down in the history books as the greatest baseball player that never accomplished anything.
I was going to say, it feels like he's been around forever.
We said Mike Trout's like Dan Marino, where you're like, that
That's a
guy's,
good taunt.
you're like,
I like
that,
that.
you're like, that's one of the greatest baseball players ever. But yeah, he just tore his meniscus. He's done for the year.
That's a really good comp.
That's unbelievable, man. What up, Noah? Mitch, are you okay? So, Mitch, are you okay? Are you okay, Mitchie? Much, are you okay? So, Mitch, are you okay? Are you okay, Mitchie? You know what that reminded me
Mitchie,
of?
are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Mitchie? Mitchie, are you okay?
Is this a song?
Mitchie, are you okay? Are you okay, Mitchie? Michael Jackson, Smooth Criminal, says, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Can you tell us that you're okay, Annie? I think this is what it is. Shimone!
To be honest with you, I haven't felt this bad in a long time. Like tomorrow, Friday happy hour, I am a little bit nervous about just because of what my body went through last week at my bachelor party. Like Alex and I, Alex just got a brand new job. So we went out.
Woohoo!
Yep. She's super stoked for it. I'm super happy. The only person that's upset about it is Chuck.
I was going to say, how does Chuck feel? Because that's the important person.
Chuck's not happy about it, but I tried to tell him at me, I was like, hey, this means more greenies for you. You know, so
Chuck, that means more treats.
He was fired up about it. Chuck's probably watching the show right now. What's up, Chuck? So we went out last night to celebrate dinner, and, you know, we ordered champagne. And I told Alex, like, I don't want to drink at all this week. Like, my body, like, legitimately hurts. And I was like, we always go out. We always get just like a glass of champagne, you know, congratulations. I'm sucking down that champagne yesterday, and I'm like, this is tough.
It hurt.
Dude.
It hurt a lot.
I was like, what's in this?
Yeah, no, that's kind of where we're at. Maddie and I were like, you know, let's have some wine. Let's hang out. Let's cook dinner. And I was like, all of that sounds great, except for the wine part. I'm out on that.
Yeah, there's don't get me wrong. I mean, we're going to party it up tomorrow. It's going to be Raiders Friday happy hour tomorrow.
We might be calling in the reinforcements, though.
We might need some help. Chuggs doesn't really drink anymore on this show, so I might need some help tomorrow. We'll see how Chuggs feels. Do you work tomorrow?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to look.
That's funny as hell. What's up, Anthony? Mitch, I sent a message on IG. Okay, I got you. Hang on, Anthony. Yeah, I don't know what I just got a whole bunch of messages. What is happening? All right, so the name, I got to look it up this way because I have way too many DMs right now. Mark Morgan. All right, here we go. All right, I got this. Okay. All right, hang on here. I got you. Anthony, I just gave you a follow, so just give me a second here. I will look at your message after the show. I'll look at that at the end of the show. It's kind of a long one. I'm not going to lie. I will do my best to help out in any way possible, just so you know. I will do my best. I'm just going to put it, I got to mark it so that way I go back and check it out. I got you, though, Anthony. I got you. All right, got another question coming in here from Twitter. Reminder, if anybody ever wants to see their questions up here on the Raiders Report, there's ways to do it. Obviously, if you send in a super chat, use hashtag Raiders Live when I'm on the show. But I also know that a lot of people, you know, you can't join the live show. I'm a busy person. Y'all are busy people. So if you ever want to see your questions, you can always tweet at me, at Mitchell Renz 365. All I ask is if you tweet at me, also use hashtag Raiders. That way, in my mind, I instantly know, okay, this is something that they want to be able to show on the show. We asked for hashtag Raiders on YouTube. I'm going to ask for the exact same thing on Twitter. Do you believe we will be better this year on all three phases? If so, what is our record? So I'll ask all y'all, how many games will the Raiders win this upcoming season? Do I think they're going to be better on offense? They better. They better be better on offense. Special teams is a tough one, and the only reason why that I say that is because with the new kickoff return rules, there's so many unknowns that even players, coaches don't know. Like Jack Jones the other day was working as a kickoff man, where there are some teams that are experimenting with the idea of, can you find somebody else besides your kicker to kick the ball, because then that technically gives you an extra tackler. And one of my buddies who covers the Chiefs is that's why they signed that rugby player to potentially do that for them this upcoming season. So special teams, I don't know. I'm hoping Daniel Carlson's better. AJ Cole's the best punter in football right now. For a record, I think that we're going to be a 9-8 win team. If our quarterback plays better than what I expect it to be, I think we can win 10 games. Our defense, though, as a whole for the season, will be better. But if our defense being better than what it was that final 9 games, we were giving up 16 points per game, literally was the top guys, it's tough. Saints just signed Marquez Callaway.
I saw that a little bit ago.
Yeah?
Former Saints legend.
That's a good one.
He's a fun player.
That's a good one.
Preseason legend. So I will add this. Had Michael Thomas not taken things to Twitter and put out a bunch of stupid tweets, he would have been the one getting the phone call today.
Yeah?
I genuinely believe
what did Michael Thomas say today?
Well, not today. All throughout the season last year, he was hurt. He was tweeting about just a bunch of trash about the team, the organization, how they're running things, the way that media skipped around, the injury stuff, and how they handled his injury and all that. And so it just, you're not burning bridges, you're nuking the entire river.
That's funny. And sometimes that's going to happen. It is what it is when it does happen. But I'll tell you what, man, it's I hope Michael Thomas can get back to being healthy, because when he was healthy, he was unbelievable.
It was so fun to watch. And you can call him Slant Boy. You can say whatever you want about him. Stop it.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm with you. Hey, I'm with you. And I think, obviously, Drew Brees really helped him out. Brees is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But, a healthy Michael Thomas with either an Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew, I don't hate it.
I don't see any reason why a healthy Michael Thomas couldn't get 800 yards.
Yep.
And at that point, that's all you're really asking him to do.
No, I would say if Thomas is on our team, because he's not better than Jacoby.
Actually, yeah, I was thinking. I didn't think about all the weapons.
He's probably somebody that you'd give 55 targets to. If he could bring in 35 to 36 catches, give you close to 400 yards. That's the type of role in the receiver I think the Raiders need right now.
Would you take Michael Thomas for 30 catches, let's call it 350 yards and 4 touchdowns?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you sign up for that?
I think that's what the Raiders wanted in Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just need somebody else who's got a little bit of experience. And the fear with Thomas is injury. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Michael Thomas has a glass ankle. You're not wrong. It's very, very glass-like. All right, y'all. We got no more segments to do here on the show. So if anybody wants to keep the show going, #Raiders or the Super Chat is how you're going to keep that going. We do have one more duck race to do, so just keep that in mind. And I'm going to refresh my phone here real quick to see if I got anybody else that is in. It's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 right now. You would go home with $130 here on the show. All right, we're going to answer a few more questions, do this duck race, and then I'm going to bounce. People forget heart and drive is an X factor that closes the gap on talent. We proved that with Papa Rich and again with AP. This team is different this year with Antonio Pierce. I'm not going to disagree with that, right? I think AP was the perfect coach for the Raiders. I think Rich Bisaccia at that time was the perfect man for that team. And sometimes, you got to be able to find the perfect guy, and that is more important than being able to find the best coach, right? I'll compare it like this. I've made this analogy before, and I hope it doesn't miss for some of our female viewers. But you could have this Victoria's Secret, the super smoking hot model of a wife, but she might not be that perfect wife for everybody out there. Alex is a beautiful woman. She's not the perfect person for everybody out there, but she's the perfect person for me. And Antonio Pierce might not be the perfect coach for a lot of NFL teams out there, but to me, I think he's perfect for the Raiders. So it's about that marriage. It's about being able to find that right person. And who do I think is a better head coach? Who's got the better resume? Jim Harbaugh or Antonio Pierce? Jim Harbaugh has the better resume. But here's the thing, though. Jim Harbaugh started out with no resume. Bill Belichick started out with no resume. All these great head coaches, Sean Payton, Carroll, all these Super Bowl winning coaches started out with no resume. Antonio Pierce starting out with no resume. But you know what? I think he's moving in the right direction. I'm with you, Jeremy. I think he's the right guy for the job. What's up, Seth? I want this season to be the one where we see a truly happy Davante Adams.
What would it take to see a truly happy Davante Adams?
Wins. We got
just wins.
I mean, Davante showed last season on the show Netflix that they show a lot early on where he's like frustrated because he's not getting the football, but he's also frustrated because of how bad that offense was.
Well, and it's a lot easier to justify, well, I'm not getting the football, but we're winning games. It's a lot. You have a lot more fun when you're winning football games.
And
there's no doubt.
Like there was times last season, even when the Raiders would win, if he didn't get the ball, he would be frustrated because he's like, it's bad. Like we're winning, but the ultimate goal is a Super Bowl. And he knows, and we all knew, that the Raiders weren't going to win a Super Bowl with Josh McDaniels with the head coach. Then, you switch over to AP, and there was games where it's like, I bet you talked to Davante Adams after that Chiefs game where he finished the game with 1 catch for 4 yards and they win. He's probably as happy as he can be because of how good they played in that game. I want to see a happy Davante. Obviously, I think that means that he's got to get involved because, well, if the Raiders are going to win, he has to get involved. But, like, if they can win 9, 10 games and he ends up finishing the season with 100-plus catches, double-digit touchdowns, he does want to win a Super Bowl, but don't we all? Let's go to Raider Prime. What time is Chuggs on? What time's the game tonight?
Let me Google.
What time is whatever time the Texans and Bears game is on, he's on an hour before that.
It starts tonight.
It starts with one thing. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard I try.
Why do they make it so difficult to find the time for these games?
Texans versus Bears. Texans, Bears today, 7 o'clock Central. 7 Central.
So he'll go live 6 Central, which is
an hour and 10 minutes from now.
Okay.
He's going to go live in about 70 minutes. Actually, 69 to be exact.
Very nice.
Very nice.
How much?
Great success. Great success.
CJ Stroud, very nice.
All right, I'm going to refresh my Venmo. It's actually been difficult.
No new entries, or what are we doing?
I'm going to send them to you. I got 2 more entries here, both from Patrick B. So right now, $20 Venmo, you'd have the opportunity to win $150 hairs on the Raiders Report. I just sent that to TV.
To TV? Perfect.
Yep. So when I send that to TV, does everybody on TV get that?
I mean, the TV will get it, but yes.
It's kind of weird. So everybody that's live just randomly gets that.
Yes.
Yep, that's weird. It's definitely a little bit weird. All right, y'all. Reminder, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on those notifications. I'm going to be live tomorrow. It's going to be Raiders Friday happy hour. I'll make you guys a deal, okay? Every time somebody sends in a $100 super chat tomorrow, or maybe I won't do that. I'm gonna make like barriers lists of once we hit a certain number, I'll tell you guys a bachelor party story.
I love it.
It'll be fun. We're gonna have some fun tomorrow. We're gonna let our hair down a little bit. Help us continue to grow this thing. I want to get to 171,000 subs by the time we end up playing against the Minnesota Vikings. Today was a really fun show. It kind of made me feel like I'm ready to get back into the NFL grind. A lot of good questions today, a lot of good interaction, a lot of people just being able to hang out. Also, I got another one for you. Can you add Eric F? Eric F just got in. He's one of the
got it.
He's an OG person here. So now
Eric with a K?
Eric with a C.
Got it. C-R-I-K.
Bingo. You ever see the Starbucks thing with that?
Steven, but it's with a P-A. So my dad's name is Steven, so we call him Steven.
Yeah.
When he's acting like an idiot.
I saw that in Starbucks. It was like, my name's Steven with a P. They put P-S-T-E-V-E-N. Oh, my God. I laughed so hard. I'm looking forward to seeing what Getsy has in his tank. He has a lot to prove, too. He does have a lot to prove. And the Raiders' entire offense has a lot to prove. I saw Sanjeet posted on Twitter. It was like, who's the player that you're most looking forward to watching in the preseason? To me, it's Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew. It's the entire Raiders' offense. Like, that's the unknown to me. I expect this defense to be great. They're going to be great. But I really, really can't wait to see what they can do on the offensive side of the football. All right.
Winner's going home with $160.
Dude,
Is my math right?
160 bones going to the winner today on the Raiders Report. What's up, Rick? What's up, King Shav? Yoda still rocking with us. Eric F says, coo. All right, can I get a quick though? Shuffle. All right, so the winner of this race going home with $160. This is what I like to call a duck race. We're going to do these all season long. 3, 2, 1, let's run it. All right.
If you type quack, your duck goes faster.
Really?
Quack, 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 quack.
That's insane. I didn't know that. I mean, right now, Eric F. and Jamari are just ripping that quack button.
Hey, quack is whack.
Quack is whack.
Back at it like a quack addict.
That makes me think of the Mighty Ducks. Quack, 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 quack. Dude, that's a good movie. That's one
Great
of the
movie.
Sandlot or the Mighty Ducks?
I have seen Sandlot more, so I'll have to go with Sandlot. But Mighty Ducks is phenomenal.
Mighty Ducks is. I'm a baseball guy, so I'm with you.
Jamari!
Jamari looks like that quack took some serious years away from Jamari, but luckily he's got a few ducks. Uh-oh, the other Jamari.
Jamari Murray looks like quack.
And the strawberry. Let's go.
It's Strawberry Nest Quack.
Jamari Murray looks like my bachelor friend, Dave.
I was going to say that's Dave.
Dave was a little bit sunburned.
So, a really fast story. Imagine going down to Mexico, where you're very close to the equator, and not wearing sunscreen for the first day. Is that a bad idea? Yes or no? Disastrous ideas.
And this is somebody who, when I tell you, is as white as can be. He's as white as can be. Yeah, it was bad. Jamari, if you could confirm with everyone in the chat for me that you just received $160, that would be much, much appreciated. Reminder again, before I get on out of here, we got a game tonight, okay? Big game tonight. Texans, Bears, football's back. Like, it's just cool that you get to actually watch some football. Like, it's such a cool thing to be able to do. So I want to know who you guys got. And reminder, if you want to go hang out with Jeremy Chuggs, he's going to go live in about an hour from now on our Texans channel. He's going to be breaking that down. So if you want to go check it out, type in Texans Chat Sports. He probably already got the show scheduled. Our Bears channel is also going to be going live about an hour from now as well. So if you're new to the Raiders Report, if maybe today's the first day you ever saw this and you're like, you know what, I like this Chat Sports thing. Go check out those two streams, kind of see what we do for our watch parties. We get wild, we get crazy, we have a good time. I'll be back tomorrow, Raiders Friday Happy Hour, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, here on the show. Let's go watch some football.